Fore players right, Barstool Sports. We got a very special. He's not special. We have a guest, Colt Knost, our good friend.
Ricochet shot. That was a ricochet
Wow.
shot. That was a ricochet shot. We love
fire shots at us. We like to fire shots at him too. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a little friendly banter, I would say.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh wait, I screwed up. We just interviewed someone who's going to be on the next show. I was thinking that was this show. I got my timeline.
They have different names. They got different names.
I got my
one
timeline messed up.
If you're watching the YouTube, you'll see there's a little Easter egg as to who we're interviewing for Thursday. I'm gonna change. Actually, I'll keep the hat on.
Yeah, keep the visor.
I'll keep the visor on. Yeah, we interviewed a visor player for Thursday. We just got finished with it, and now, so this is the timelines are going to screw people up like you wouldn't believe.
There's also a good chance that I said the guy's name already.
I don't know if the timeline's going to screw anybody up because I think it's just screwing us up because we just got off the interview with who's going to be on Thursday's show, but we actually interviewed Colt Knost on Friday night at Torrey Pines at the lovely Hilton at La Jolla. Is that how you say it? La Jolla. La Jolla. It was Friday night, so if the timeline on that interview seems a little bit weird, it's because it was one round to go still in the Farmers Insurance. So we were kind of talking about things that hadn't quite happened yet, but they kind of actually worked out based on what we were talking about with Luke List and his putting. So anyways, Colt Knost, we had like an hour and 40 minutes. Obviously extremely well-connected guy. Great talent on the CBS broadcast. They have subpar of their podcast. They got PGA Sirius XM radio show. So he's all over the place, getting bigger and bigger. Won the U.S. Amateur. In 2007, Colt actually won 3 USGA events, I believe, in the same year, which is amazing. And then obviously he likes to chirp and talk shit, and so do we. So it was a very fun chat between us and Colt Knost. So stick around, enjoy that. We got a few things to get to first. Talking about being out on the West Coast, San Diego, Kingdom, TaylorMade. First, we got to talk about Cross Country Mortgage. I know Frankie has recently closed on a house. You use Cross Country Mortgage the entire process. Is that correct?
Done. I have a mortgage, Cross Country Mortgage. Have the keys. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you to Chris Devon at Cross Country Mortgage. It was a very, very easy process and one that made me feel a lot more comfortable. And one that, I'm 28 years old and you're about to spend a lot of money and you don't know where the money's going and it's fucking scary. And you're like, I have to do this for 30 years. And they kind of just break it all down to you. They let you know that there's chances to refinance and all these things. And you learn that, like, you just do it. This is the thing you do in life. You get mortgages, you get loans, you refinance stuff. For me, it was my first experience and I couldn't have asked for better people to do it with. Cross Country. I mean, dude, they think of everything. And I don't know if this is just because I became really good buddies with Chris, my mortgage guy at Cross Country, but like, I'm pretty sure they send this to like everyone because it was like package and cross country packaging. But they sent like the tape with all the little labels for when you're moving and you're boxing up your stuff. Like they thought of everything to send you. Like, hey, this is just like, this will save you an expense and some time to like go. Like, where would I even buy that like tape thing? You know the one I'm talking about? It's like it's easy to wrap all those boxes and it puts a nice little laminate little sticker on it and says this is Frankie's room and this is they thought of everything. And Cross Country is just I've gained friends by doing this process. That's how insanely nice they are. So yeah,
they've got a wide variety of loan types, which means they've got everything to cover everyone with huge variety of products that cover everything from renovations to refis. Is that how you would say that? Refis?
Yep.
I was assuming that's a refinance, yeah.
And everything in between. I guess that's a little code word. It's a little shortening of refis. If you're ready to tee off on a loan, visit Cross Country Mortgage. It does say this little shot at Frankie. Our short game sucks, but our ability to find you an awesome loan is pretty damn good.
Wow.
Boom roasted.
Go to crosscountrymortgage.com/barstool so Cross Country Mortgage can take care of you throughout the home buying process. Cross Country Mortgage, LLC, NMLS 3029. All loans subject to underwriting approval. Visit www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. A couple things before we get to Colton. Again, we talked for an hour and 40 minutes about all kinds of things. He got pretty technical on the golf swing, to golf courses he likes, to what it's like being on a broadcast with Jim Nantz and Nick Faldo and all kinds of good stuff. But Frankie, did I see you shot 49-39 yesterday?
Yeah, the front was
That's better than the other way around. That's way better than the other way around.
Yeah, I played the Grand Del Mar. We played with a couple of guys out here in San Diego, and we've been doing so much work on ranges, or at least I have been. I've been to so many ranges in the past 2 weeks, and that includes hitting off of turf and hitting off of concrete and hitting off grass. And you just like, I just felt like I was getting my swing so dialed in that I forgot that you have to aim the ball. And I think that's what happens when you do a lot of practicing, especially the way we practice. We just grip it and rip it and try and hit as far as possible. And we try and hit like really nice seedy irons and all this stuff. And we're not worrying about trying to hit fairways. So the first couple of holes, I'm trying out these new swings. We just went to the Kingdom. We'll talk about that. Like a lot of things went into this new swing. And I'm just hitting the ball all over the place. And I'm not doing my swing and I'm not taking my time. And the back nine, man, it just clicked. I didn't miss a green in regulation. I almost jarred out from 165 yards for a hole in one. I went to 2 feet. Like just everything about it was, I was playing golf and it was really fun. The front nine, not so fun.
Well, look, that again, you get a lot of hope. You walk away with a lot of positivity. You posted 39. You feel like you found it. It clicked. You got a little bit of something. So good work. Luke List, we got to shout out Luke List, who won in a playoff. I believe he's 37 years old, journeyman, first win. He was as giddy as like a 20-year-old kid afterwards. His family running on the green. Amazing scene, amazing setting. He hit that dart on the 18th green. Iconic scene. Tiger Woods obviously made probably the greatest putt in the history of golf on that green. So all kinds of history. And then he throws a laser in there, wedge, spins it back off the hill, tap in, wins. Zalatoris missed that putt. We actually talked about it a good amount with Thursday's guest, which is Keith Mitchell. I think we can just say that. But Keith Mitchell is on Thursday's show. We talked at length, really, about Zalatoris and his putting and his ball striking and all that. So we get into more of that on Thursday's show. Viktor Hovland, I want to shout out. He won in Dubai. I saw Steph that he's won his last 3 starts.
What?
Wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, it's European tour, I think, but I think he's won. I think he's 3 for 3 maybe on his last, or maybe 3 out of 5, but I thought I saw 3 for 3. Regardless, he won over in Dubai in a playoff. Rory McIlroy had a tie for the lead coming into the 18th hole. I think he had 267 to the flag and tried to hit like a 5-wood or maybe a 3-wood and just flared one into the water. There are a lot of hot takes about that. He ended up making bogey and missing out on the playoff by 1. I don't think it's much of a problem. I mean, Rory won in the fall on the PGA Tour. But, I mean, if you're Rory, you would like to see him not hit the ball in the water with the
Yeah, that was unfortunate. But for going back to Viktor Hovland for a second, he did something that I loved, and it made me love Viktor Hovland even more. I like Viktor Hovland, but he's Viktor Hovland. He's still really young. He's obviously super good. But I like when guys show their personality. When he was getting handed the big check, the big money-winning check, he went cha-ching, and then he took the check and took a picture with it. That's pretty good. I'm starting to really come around. Not that I ever disliked Viktor Hovland, but I think he's going to be a great guy to follow for a very long time. Not only just because he's a great golfer.
He's got extremely likable aura about him.
He's got a great energy.
Yeah, his energy, the way he looks happy-go-lucky. People say he looks like he's high a lot of the time. I feel like people that are like high seem like happy and just pretty much in a good mood and carefree, and he kind of seems that way. Yet he's a bit of a stone cold killer. I remember when he won like a year and a half, 2 years ago on tour, and he won despite having some chipping yips. And I remember him like they're asking about it after the round. And he goes, I just still can't chip, but I got the win. So he's got that fun attitude, and he's just been on an absolute rampage. One of the young guys. I mean, you think about Morikawa, John Rahm. You think about these young guys that are dominating. You kind of forget Viktor Hovland. Yet, boom, he's just on a rampage right now.
He's number 3 in the world now. He's number 3 in the world. What can you say?
Incredible that he's number 3 in the world. Wow. Kingdom. We got a shout out TaylorMade. We obviously have we're TaylorMade athletes, sponsored athletes. They had our photographs on the wall when we arrived at the TaylorMade Kingdom, which is one of the more, I would say, shocking things I've ever seen. Did you know that was coming, Frankie?
I had no idea it was coming. I walked in and I said, "Now, what the fuck is this about?" And there was a really nice, like secretary standing there. She was sitting there at her desk, just typing away something. And I actually asked her to remove her AirPods. I asked, "Now, what the fuck is this about?" And pointed behind her. And she says, "Yeah, I don't know. This has been up here for like the last week or something." She's like,
"Really?"
Yeah. She's like, "Do you guys want to sign it?" Like, I don't know. I couldn't believe that they swapped out what probably is usually DJ, Rom, Rory,
Yeah.
and Tiger up there. For us, I don't know.
Well,
it was kind of stunning.
Stunning. So unfortunately, yeah, it is stunning. So unfortunately, I did not make the trip. I was not feeling the best, so I didn't make the trip, which was an insane bummer because I went to the Kingdom last year when we first started the TaylorMade partnership, and that place is heaven. You just go there and they have everything you need, and it's just the greatest thing, the greatest place in the world, basically. So now when you guys go back, we've obviously been with them for like a year. We know them more. They're nice enough. I figured that when they put up those pictures that they were up for however long it took you guys to walk through
5
the lot.
seconds.
Right. They were like, oh shit, the foreplay guys are coming, so let's throw those fucking things up there and then take them down immediately and put DJ and Morikawa back up there. But it sounds like maybe they were up for longer. But anyway, I saw that picture, Frankie, you tagged me on Instagram, and I reshared it or reposted or whatever, and I got multiple texts from people in my family being like, first of all, that's the best you've ever looked. You got to smile with your teeth more, which might be one of my new Year's resolutions. And second, my mom wants a copy of that picture. Like, those pictures are incredible.
They're amazing. I'm trying to build out like a nice little office and studio in my house. That's one of my little projects I want to do. And if that picture of Trent and I is not behind me, me and Trent is behind me when I'm. What are you shaking your head at?
I don't know which way it is.
I think it's me and Trent.
Whichever
that
one.
photo of me and Trent.
Trent and me.
If that photo of Trent and me is not behind me when I'm recording my podcast at my new house, then we've completely foiled that, like fucked something up, because that is the greatest photo of us ever. I actually look like an athlete.
I believe the way you're supposed to determine which way is right is you remove the and someone thing and just say it the way you're supposed to, and then you add, right? So it's like if you would say like, oh yeah, that photo should go like with me, then you wouldn't say like Trent and I. You would say like Trent and me. So you're supposed to say,
I like
the
it.
same.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if that's right or not, but somebody taught me that a long time ago.
I think that's right. That sounds familiar. I would say that we did a lot more this year at the Kingdom than we did last year. We got to see a little bit more of like where they make the clubs, and they kind of just gave us a quick tour of just like all the boxes of stuff and things being sent out and shafts and their production rooms and how much money is really spent into going into all their content and these cameras they have. And it's a pretty big production, man. TaylorMade is no joke. They are a big
Frankie hit
company.
one 317. I mean, Frankie hit a golf ball with his new stealth driver 317. You were ripping the ball.
Yeah, and I got a couple of DM. Yeah, I got like an eyelash in my eye. I got a something's going on with my contact. Not good.
Power through it.
Whoa.
Power through it.
I got a lot of DMs
Mental
saying, "Oh,
toughness.
like you think," even from Joel Damon saying, "Do you really think that technology there can calculate roll?" And I think the argument to that is the Kingdom has now completely put in all this new technology where they have these posts for TrackMan out in the middle of the driving range. And I was talking to one of the guys from TaylorMade yesterday when we were watching football, and he said that is the reason why they added so many more of these sensors, is to get a direct, perfect number of roll and calculations, as opposed to just the regular TrackMan that's behind you. They're hitting all these little pings out there in the middle of the middle of the driving range, and it calculates it to the T. Yes, I hit one 292 carry, 317 roll. It was an amazing drive.
It's a bomb.
An amazing drive. It was an amazing drive. And the only tip that I got from my guy Leighton, who was fitting me, was that I was swinging my driver like I was hitting my irons, and I was coming down on it. I was actually coming down on the ball 4 degrees. And on the drive that I hit, amazing. I think I went up on it 3 degrees. So that's a huge difference.
We actually talked about this a good amount with Colt in the interview that's coming out. We were talking about the degree of attack and how you're supposed to change it with the driver versus your irons, how high up on the ball like Rory hits it, which was super fascinating because Colt obviously understands this stuff and knows a lot more about it, than we do. So we are going to throw it to Mr. Colt Knost. I don't think we have anything else. We have a great show Thursday coming as well with Keith Mitchell, who's awesome. We talked to him for like an hour. He's out in Pebble just chilling. And we had visors on and look kind of ridiculous, especially me. So people are going to enjoy that Thursday. 2 big shows coming up. First, new game, Anna Mules. All right. We played this game The guys that founded this have been playing this game for years. They never get tired of it. It is hilarious. I played with the founders, Gary, Mike. They're a really good time. Creates a game within the game. It's fun. It's easy to play. Really doesn't matter about skill level. If you hit like a cart path, if you hit a rock, if you hit a tree, you acquire these animals. If you're the guy with the most animals, you're the zookeeper. If you're the zookeeper, whenever the cart person, shout out to Kisner, comes by, you have to buy the round of drinks and whatever else is gotten from the cart, and then everything clears out. So it's very funny when the cart comes rolling around the corner. Everybody's like, oh, because so-and-so's behind. So it's just a completely different way to play. Make sure you go download the app. That's Animules, ANAMULES, available for free in Apple and Android app stores. Download today. Add this to your regular gameplay when you're playing golf. We all get messages. Hey, we're trying to find a new game. Maybe there's 3 of us. Maybe we're going on a golf trip. We don't want to play the same format day after day after day. We're playing 36 holes. Maybe in the afternoon, want to play something new. Go download the Animules app today. Again, it's free in Apple, free in Android app stores. Go download it, use it. It's very fun. You're going to come up with different terminology that you never had before that's going to kind of change the way you're playing, and it's all fun. Kids can play. It's very, very cool. So go download Animules. Check it out. Here's our pal, Colt Knost. Okay, folks, we're joined on the West Coast. We're very close. So you were actually just looking at the Pacific Ocean, and the sun setting is quite nice. We're at Torrey Pines. We've been here a lot, it feels like, in the last year, but we're joined by very special guest, someone we had on, I think, just once, and it was to refute an issue with us. But we have Colt Knost, who's the host of a lot of things now. Subpar, you got Gravy in the Sleaze. You're on CBS. I feel like you're hosting all kinds of shit now.
Yeah, I'm a busy man. Honestly, I'm working way harder now than I did when I actually played this game for a living.
Has to feel that way.
It is, but it's a lot less stressful, though. Just talk and get paid. It's great.
What are these weeks like for you? Like, so we're here. You're obviously with CBS. You got the CBS Sports hat on. You did your whole hostage video stuff, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, I know you'd like that a lot. Yeah, it's great. You know, this week, especially at Torrey Pines, I'm just doing the CBS coverage, so just the last 2 rounds. So I showed up here on Wednesday. I know you guys are TaylorMade guys. Went to my guys over at Callaway. Okay. I did a little club fitting like y'all did today at TaylorMade.
Club fittings are nice.
Club fittings are great.
Could you hit it over 300 yards?
No, I can't. Never could. Never will.
Welcome to the stealth.
Yeah, never will. I don't think a stealth or anything is going to help me get it over 300 yards, unfortunately.
Dude, me neither.
Which is fine, though. You know, I'll still wear your ass out, Lertz. But
yeah, it was your game.
But yeah, but then, yesterday during the second round of Torrey, I had nothing to do, so I went out and actually watched some golf. My buddy Taylor Montgomery got a sponsor exemption here this week. Mm-hmm. His dad, Monty's the GM out at Shadow Creek in Vegas. Okay. So I spent a lot of time there.
Good spot.
Went and watched him. Shot a little 8 under 64. Shout out to him. He's playing well. Yikes. And then followed Gary Woodland for 9 holes. Watched him grind it out to make the cut. So it was.
Yeah, did he make the cut? I remember he was, last week at the Amex. Mm-hmm. It was weird because they have, with the 3 different courses, it's like guys are lighting up one of the other courses. They didn't have a ton of footage. So they just kept showing Wolf and Gary, and they were both just not playing well.
Chopping.
And it was like every other group they would go to, a lot of times they chop to like 20 different people, and they're all playing well and hitting good shots. Every time they would chop, and they're like 4 over, 5 over. And I was like, these guys are just dominating the coverage.
And Gary's pissing me off because I'm going home to Scottsdale Saturday night afterwards, and he's going there for the week off and stay. And so I'm trying to catch a ride with him. So I needed him to either really play really good or really shitty. And he's right in the middle now. So he's going to tee off early the last day, which kind of ruins my private jet plans.
So do you do like a ton of preparation? Do you do no preparation for a week like this? Do you need to do any preparation?
No, because for me, like being on the ground, it's just, I kind of just react to what I'm seeing out there. You know, I know all the guys out there, which is great. I know the golf courses. I've played Torrey Pines 100 times. And for the most part, I know who the guys are that I'm following. So, I mean, I'll look at something and see like what they've been doing good for the year, what they've been struggling with, and what the big difference is this week. Like, Luke List was a guy that's playing well out there, and he was outside the top 200 in putting coming into this week, and he was number 1 going into today. So like, it's cool to see stuff like that, and just see what's working well or what's not working well for guys.
Are you like range ratting it and trying to find out why, or something tweak that he made in his putting that's going to change him from outside 200 to the number 1 this week?
Yeah, I ask questions. I'm like, what's going on? I know for Luke specifically, he started working with a new putting coach, and they figured something out. And I asked Luke, I said, what he changed? He goes, my whole concept of putting. So I was like, perfect. All right, great. So
we need to do that for Lurch.
Yeah, Lurch. I've seen your putting, but it's
It's a nightmare.
You should go see Steven Sweeney. That's who Luke List went to.
Okay.
Call him up.
I don't think Steven's going to take my call.
Well, it's worth a try. I mean, the worst thing you can do is say no.
Dude, I don't know. It'd be amazing for his brand if people could show the before and then the after, and you actually putted confidence.
I mean, what's your handicap?
4, 5.
I mean, if you could putt, you'd be a scratch. That'd be
No,
easily,
I don't
dude.
think I'd be that low.
I don't know, man.
I would be better, for sure, better.
You don't hit that many bad shots.
I agree. I was
overall
blown
golf
away when we played down in Florida.
Yeah, putting's
You're the
gonna go
worst
in.
putter sub 5 handicap on the planet.
You
agree with
honestly,
that?
I bet you're
Do you agree with that?
I've never thought
you're
about
in the
it.
bottom
Now I'm
5
concerned.
percentile.
Now I'm legitimately
Sub 5
concerned.
handicap, you're the worst putter on the planet.
Now that you said it
You
out
gotta think a
loud,
lot of the people that are
are-
sub 5 handicap
are
is because
grinding,
of-
putting, getting
They're
it.
there because of the putting.
like
Right.
me.
Yes.
That's a perfect example.
We
of my
released
game.
that last Bannon video, man, and I was like, oh, I think I hit it pretty well. I was talking to Bug about it, but I didn't think about how bad I really was. And then I watched the first hole, and the first hole for the boys was bad. Did you guys see that? The first hole was like 7s and 8s.
Let me say this: on the first hole, you hit the ball pretty good. You hit like 3 pretty good shots. I almost missed my drive and then shanked one out of bounds, and we made the same score.
Yeah.
Took me 4 whacks to get it in.
We were at the
I
TaylorMade.
was on the green. It took me 4.
We were at the Kingdom today, and they were fitting us and all the stuff that we love to do. And they didn't even invite you into the putting studio.
No.
Because I'm like, they have the best technology of all time in that putting studio, and they didn't even want you in there.
No. I've been in there before, and they just.
I think they had to recalibrate the thing once you left.
Like,
Yeah, putting's. I will say I forgot how bad I putted at Bandit until the video showed me.
Yeah.
And now when you
You
said
hit the ball
that,
great.
But it's just back and through. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
you gotta take the putter back 6 inches.
Colt, you're a really good putter. How much when you're, which is infuriating to say to you face to face and with many people that are going to listen.
he's
but
so
it's
good.
true.
I played with him once. He's annoying. I mean, maybe the most annoying guy.
Everybody already knew that.
Yeah.
Listen,
but
it's just so easy to get in your kitchen. It's fun. First
You
of all,
weren't really in my
I
kitchen.
have to talk shit. Okay, that's part of. I don't have much offense in the game of golf. Okay.
Yeah, you do.
So talking shit is one of my specialties,
Yeah.
and I have to do that to win.
No. So we're playing. I forget where we were playing at the time, but I was like, this guy's pretty fucking good. Like, he's good.
Uh-huh.
And then I think we all had like 270 out. And I actually ripped the 3-wood, but it went dead through and in lost ball. Colt hits one. I mean, beautiful ball flight to like 3.5 feet. And I was like, all right, we're playing way different games.
And you, I mean, the guy in 2007, he won the 3 USGA.
I mean, he's
events,
so good.
including
And people,
USA
I think maybe you
this
said,
guy right here.
or maybe Isner said he's the best +2 in the world in terms of competition and betting with your buddies. And I left that day and I was like, I think he is.
Well, nowadays, I mean, I do put in every score because basically the only golf I play is to gamble.
Right.
And so
You want
listen,
your score, yeah.
I need strokes when I play the tour guys. There's no doubt about it, and it drives them crazy that they have to give them. But listen, I don't get to practice anymore like I used to. It's not a job for me anymore. So I need strokes, and I like the more strokes I can get.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
So putting, right? Like, is there anything specific you think about over putts? Are you thinking about your stroke ever? Are you thinking about, right? Like for me, what I try to get into forever is and I just again stole it from Tiger Woods, which is like paint to the picture. So I just take one last look at the hole, look back, think about literally nothing, and just putt it right away. What do you think about when you putt?
That's funny. So I was playing with Mickelson at the PGA one year. We got paired together Saturday and Sunday.
Phil?
And yeah, that guy named Phil, guy that won the PGA last year, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he won the PGA. But it was pretty cool. This is one of the very cool moments in my career. We were playing, and he goes, "I'm going to ask you something I've only asked very few people in my life." He goes, "I want to know what you think about when you putt because you roll the shit out of it." And so I told him, like, my big thing is, like, I don't imagine there's a ball there. Like, I'm big on just letting the ball get in the way. Like, it's a putting stroke, not a putting hit, right? Okay. And so, like, my big deal is, and I think Jordan Spieth's one of the other guys that does this, as far as tempo of the stroke, it's 1-to-1, where a lot of guys say it's the same speed back, same speed through, where a lot of guys accelerate through. Yep. And so for me, I was big on keeping the same pace throughout, and the ball just gets in the way. And I'm a big guy. I feel every break in my feet, right? So I get over it. So I see, like, say it's a right edge putt, right? I get over it, and that might not feel quite right. That's why I've never been a line putter, like using the line to line it up, because people get locked into that. And it doesn't feel right. If it doesn't feel right in my feet, like, I'm not going to hit it. Yeah. So I get comfortable and I just feel it, and it's just kind of, I look at the target and I react.
It's interesting because Patrick Cantlay with the
what are you even talking about? I mean, what are you even talking
on your feet. What are you, Pocahontas?
It's just, I mean, that's,
you don't do
the
that.
golf people understand it. I know you won't, Lurch. You're a tennis guy, remember?
I am a tennis. I mean, I'm not a putter is what I'm not.
Yeah. But it's like, okay,
I get the back and through. I get the straight putts.
Do you not feel like
The speed
you're aimed
thing.
too far right or too far left in your feet?
All right, I get that. I don't get the ball gets in the way because I think the stroke is hitting the golf ball.
You watch a lot of guys, like you remember, like when Jordan Spieth won the Masters, he looked at the hole.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There was no
I tried
looking.
that
Like,
for a bit.
that was
I
just
did.
stroking the ball gets in the way. That's a
true.
big deal. Sergio Garcia won in Mississippi putting with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
That's ball getting in the way.
So what I was going to say, I remember Patrick Cantlay when he went on his tear at the end of last year, and I remember I think it was somebody pulled up. Might have been a Ben Crenshaw quote or something.
No, it was someone on Twitter, but it wasn't Crenshaw. But I remember
It was about his
an
stroke
ex-player,
and
yeah.
how he clearly doesn't accelerate. He takes a long stroke, and he's maybe 1-1, maybe even some people like the way it looks because most people accelerate. It looks like he's almost decelerating, and he was the best putter on planet Earth.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the same way. I was a big, long, slow stroke. David Toms was another guy that was a great putter, did the same thing. You know, it's all personal preference. Then you look at Brant Snedeker, and I mean, he's short and quick and pops it, and he putts it great. There's
pops
so
it.
many ways to do it. That's just what I found out was best for me.
Now, when you do these long strokes, do you lock your body? Because people have told me, like, you got to lock up.
I'm stable. I don't move.
Yeah, that's a benefit to
This
your
thing
body.
ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, just
I'm
right, just
wiry.
getting
I get blown away by the wind, so I got to make sure I really lock in with my feet.
But do you lock your arm or any? Like, is there any
So I'm big,
body, or is it feel over the ball and long
You know,
and through?
that's what's beautiful about this game is it's different for everyone,
Right.
right? So like for me, like everything I do, I set up and my shoulders are open, whether it's full swing or putting. And at the last minute, I just adjust. Like I tuck my right arm.
What do you
And
mean?
that's my
Open?
so my shoulders are left for a right.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, and so like even before I hit the driver, before I hit the putter, like I just have a little
Got
shoulder
it.
wiggle where I tuck my right elbow and it squares my shoulders.
Gotcha.
Because I mean, if your shoulders are open and putting, you're going to take it outside and come across it.
Do you know the Lurch strong grip story?
I don't.
Somebody told him one time, they gave him a tip. They go, hey, you're hitting it, your swing looks good. You just need to strengthen your grip. He's
Oh,
like,
boy.
no problem. By the end of his round, his knuckles are white because he thought that meant just
Oh,
grip
just
it.
grip it
super
stronger.
I was just gripping the hell out of
I
it.
like that. That's good. That's good. I mean, I can understand that.
I got no golf background.
That's fair. That's fair. That's
So, I
totally
mean,
fair.
Walks off the
pretty
course
much
like Andy
self-taught.
Bernard.
Oh
with,
my
like,
God.
his fingers
But that's
bleeding.
Dude, I went
Really?
to the round and I was gripping
like-
the thing, and then online everybody was like, "Dude, you are a complete idiot." Do you know anything?
You're also
about
supposed
this?
to do that out of the fairway bunker. I heard you're supposed to grip it. Oh,
Leona McGuire told
Leona
us that.
McGuire said
Yes.
just grip it
Grip
as
it
hard
tighter out
as
of
you
the fairway
can.
bunker?
No,
I'm a
yeah.
terrible fairway bunker player.
She said
Maybe
just
I'll
grip
try
it as
that.
tight as you
Me
can.
too, I
Just
tried
swing.
it.
She says it helps you just like hit all ball.
Dude, it was amazing. I had a little
crazy.
pitching
Really?
contest
Yeah.
last week.
I've
She
never
said
heard
try
that.
it.
I just stood in there and held the club as hard as I could. It came
worked?
out real pure. It was unreal.
All right, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That
it is
actually works.
crazy. Kind
heard
of like,
that.
good shot. I was like, dude, I just gripped it as hard as I could. He's like, what? Why?
When
It's
you're
like, just, I don't know.
You're a lot of
Thought.
feel. So today, like I got hooked up to that putting machine, and there was a lot of talk about face address, right? Like how am I lining up? And it's amazing when you kind of like lock yourself into those numbers. Are you plugged into those numbers when you're playing?
No.
Okay.
I'm not. So for me, like I believe, like if you look at guys like Brian Gay is one of the best putters to ever play on the PGA Tour, right? If you broke down his stroke and you put him on that, like he aims way right, he takes it inside and comes over the top of it.
Right.
So it's not about where you aim, in my opinion. It's about where you start it. So if it's a dead straight putt from 10 feet, if you aim 4 degrees right, great, as long as it starts straight.
Right.
Like that's all that matters is the start line.
Right.
So
That was sort of what you were doing today, Frankie.
Well, it's crazy. They were hooking me up for 2 different types of putters, and the main difference was like the weight. So one of them was very weighted at the face. It was like a face weighted putter, and the other one was on the toe. So they were basically seeing the difference between those 2 putters, and it was drastic. So there's 2 putters. The first putter I made 4 putts total. The first putter I started with my face 3.51 degrees open. Second putter I used 0.18 closed. That's just me.
how many did you
stepping up
make
to
with
the-
that putter?
I made all 4 because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure the machine just sucks the balls
There's
in.
just a funnel.
No, but I'll give you like a good example about that. I have a buddy that he's used to be on the PGA Tour. Now he's on the Corn Ferry Tour, Martin Flores, and great putter, right? And he went down to this company. They put him on the machine, and it showed from 10 feet, dead straight putt. He aimed 4 degrees right, but he made them. So they got him in a putter where he aimed correctly, and he putted like shit. I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter where you aim.
Right.
It matters where you start it.
And it also got me thinking too, like, you know, I never would have known that because to me, both addresses looked completely the same. He's just like, just step up to the ball and putt. And one of them was 4 degrees different than the other. And even my, when I actually hit it on the face, it was like, I'm talking 2 degrees difference of being like almost like perfectly through the ball. Like it was a 0.08 degree open on the face impact, which is nuts. The guy
You should use that putter.
Right, but like for me, like
But then our swings are different tomorrow. So
no, but here's my thing that I was thinking of. Like Tiger Woods used the same putter for his whole entire career, right? And you have these guys that will play with the same putter from when they were 17 years old. So like, is it really like?
Should you
what was the
switch?
difference between that? Like, why did I address the ball differently, and why did I come through the ball differently? Just because of the way the weight was dispersed. Like, couldn't I just adjust on that based off how I felt?
Well, I think Tiger has said before that he has on putting labs and such putted better statistically, the way it comes off the closed open, all that, with like the newer stuff, but that he goes back to the Scotty because he just trusts his feel and his time in the moment.
That's what came to my
And you
mind.
got you got Tiger, then you have on the other side Dustin Johnson, who travels with 7 putters every single week, and there's no telling. I mean, he might change putters from Friday to Saturday. It's crazy.
Is he like going off analytics with that or feel?
No, feel.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just.
But
he
they're
pulls a
all
few-
spiders, so it's like
Yeah, they're
Look at
all
the difference
different.
between my 2 spiders
No, I
today.
know,
One
I know.
had
Yeah.
just like different like flex points. I don't know what the fuck the guy was
no,
talking
me
about.
either. He told me a couple things. I go stop.
I don't know. I'm like, what are you talking
My guy
about?
Dwayne, he started going on a rant. I go, I don't know, buddy.
Dwayne's great, by the way.
Oh,
Dude,
he's
the
a
guys
10.
that I know.
Perry too, awesome.
It
guy.
was. We'll have to talk about
Back to back
Town
years
Man.
with this guy, and like, but he gets on a rant. I go, no. We're not gonna go too
It's
far.
another
into this
language. Like Cole speaks another language than us.
Oh,
It's another language.
I can break it
went
down
down
to
a
your language
rabbit
if you need
hole
me to.
about whatever he was
I don't
talking
know if
about.
I want it broken down to me. I kind of like it being this
No, high
foreign
level.
concept where
Yeah.
it's just like you don't know what you're doing. You can try.
Yeah, but I would say like you're more of a. I do think you're more of a feel guy, and the way your brain operates, you should be a feel guy because you'll get like. Where was I thinking? Like Lurch's more of an analytical person, and like
it ruined me today when he's like, "Oh, when you stepped up there, you were aimed 4 degrees left of the hole," and I said, "I don't know what I don't know what I did to
said,
change
I don't know,
it.
but that sounds like a lot.
I don't know
of
what I did to
degrees.
change it. The second putter, I don't know what I did.
Well, I mean, yeah, a different model putter. You're gonna. I mean, it'll change the way you aim,
Which is
whether it be
crazy to me.
the line on top or dots
Different
or whatever it is. There's all kinds of difference. I mean, these guys that create these things are pretty smart.
So what I was trying to do with my guy Dwayne today is because as soon as he gives me a new shaft or new anything, I want to look at that or like a bounce on a wedge. I want to see that. But I was trying not to and just try to keep the same swing and let him figure out all the details of it because then I would judge it. Like if he was putting me in a stiffer iron shaft or a more flexible one. And I didn't want to change like my mindset going into swinging that golf club.
Dude, it's funny when you hit like he's like, let me tweak that on that 3-wood a little bit. I'm like, all right, I'm hitting it off the turf,
Yeah.
He gives it back to me, and I just put 2 horrible swings on it. And he goes, that tweak, it's like coming off a little lower and right. And I was like, dude, I just like shanked.
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain to you. That's
Right.
not. I'm not a robot.
Yeah,
I mean,
I used to get so nervous.
They
Like
were
when
bad swings?
Yeah, I would get so nervous like testing new stuff. Like I would always make a trip out here to California because whatever manufacturer with is most of them are out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's always like, okay, you're going that day to get fit. Like, what if your swing sucks that day?
know.
Totally.
Like it's terrible because like they're gonna adjust you or like they're gonna fit you to what you're swinging with that day, and
You're
it's
stuck with
always
that for, like, the
stressful.
next
Like
year.
I want to hit it good. I want to make sure I hit it good the
Right.
day I go get and test stuff.
I'm almost the opposite. I'm like, I hope I hit it bad, like I usually.
Because this is what's gonna happen on the course.
Because right, I want them to give me something that's gonna help me not hit it so
Yeah, you
bad.
need 7 different shafts.
Yeah, that's
Like,
right.
I need a different shaft for my 6, 7, 8, 9 iron, and I'll just play with that iron the whole day.
Well, that's why I said to you, you started off the day today at the Kingdom saying that you were going to try and hit a certain type of shot all day. Like you're trying to come more inside or something.
Yeah,
and I
that's
said,
true.
Why are you changing your swing for a fitting?
Well,
That's
so
like
then
the
Dwayne
dumbest thing of all
he
time.
didn't yell at
You
me,
just
but he was
swing.
on your side. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
I was.
he was on yours. That's like the only
s-
side.
I sometimes start it left, and then it draws left, and it's a bad miss over there. And so I'm trying to hit these hold off cuts, and that's what I was telling you. And you're like, "What are you even doing over
Try
there?"
and hit the ball the
and
way
then
you always
Dwayne
do.
got me in a different shaft. I think that was stiffer, and I could just swing. And I was
Dwayne.
We're
like,
going to talk about Dwayne's insane.
"Oh, dude!" I told him to his face I'd kiss him today, and I said I'd use a little tongue.
What
if
were
he
you
wanted
doing to the ground today with your feet? It's the first time I've ever noticed that. Is it just because of like the
You were
California
taking divots
grass?
with your
or-
feet.
I don't know what that's.
I've never seen anything like it. He would take
Ground
Colt, he
force,
would-
Lurch. Tell them it's
he would
ground force.
It's ground force.
Take a
It's power,
swing and
power through the hips.
The divot from his toes was
Stronger
greater
than yours.
my
Oh yeah, everything
divot
you
from my
did over
7
there.
iron.
And then we started to do a little wedge off to a back
Oh,
pin.
Yeah, it was bad.
And I dropped the ball, and Dwayne looked at me and goes, "Only divots in your box there, Lurch."
Yeah.
And I had to pick up my ball and go back. 'cause
Yeah.
There was
In
a
your
little gap.
box.
Yeah, because Frankie and I were like one, whatever, tee box apart. So I went over to him, so we were close. And Dwayne goes, No, back to you. I go, all right, fine.
By the way, I think we have to mention Trent is not here.
Yeah, no.
Couldn't make the trip out. had just like a little personal thing that was going on and just couldn't make it to California. So Colt is our
West Coast Trent.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I got big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
You do
He's
have
a
big
legend.
shoes. He's
Broke
people
100.
Throw bras.
Should've
at
got
him
you
when he shows
khakis.
up.
No kidding.
Should have got you khakis.
Yeah, I don't have any
black shirt.
khakis. Yeah, no
Can you
khakis.
imagine if we dressed him up?
luggage case to carry around.
Yeah.
Little suitcase.
Dude, he's a popular man.
So we were talking today before we actually started recording the show about drivers and how certain players hit up on the driver.
Mm-hmm.
And Frankie, that was like a big thing for him today, which the change it was hitting up on the driver. And I believe most amateurs probably hit like 2 to like 5 degrees down on their driver, and how big of a difference that made. And then we were reminiscing about when we were at Media Day with TaylorMade in November, and like Rory hits 5 degrees up on the driver. And then you were talking about guys going through slumps and hitting it as much as like 7 degrees up on the driver. When you're trying to get distance and figure out how to hit the longest, you're not the longest hitter of all time, even though you make every putt. Like, would you ever just try to, like almost like Shooter like Shooter McGavin when he's trying the Happy Gilmore swing? Would you just try like crazy, just hit up as much as you can on the ball?
It's funny. So one of the guys that's very good at helping you increase your speed is a guy named Matt Killen.
Yep.
PJ instructor, worked with Kenny Perry for a long time. Lurch's man Bud Colley for a long time. But I went and worked with him for a little bit.
Bud Colley do?
About trying to get. Yeah, he just hangs out.
Okay.
Yeah. But I went and worked with him trying to pick up some distance. And he got me. That was where I first, because I used to be a very neutral guy, and I was a really good iron player because of it. But I went trying to get more distance and was swinging 4 or 5 degrees up on it, and it was great. I mean, I picked up 6-7 miles an hour club head speed, hit it 15 yards further, but it really affected my iron game.
Yeah.
Because you definitely don't want to swing 5 degrees up on an iron. That just doesn't work. But it's just technology has changed everything. I mean, back in even 2000, when Tiger won everything, he was probably 1 to 2 degrees down on it. That's just how the equipment was. They hit controlled balls with a lot of spin, and now we're trying to hit high knuckle balls out there. That's what all these guys do, and just fucking smash it. I mean, that's what they want to do. So that's just changed so much with technology and the modern day game. Is like all these guys are swinging crazy up on it.
I could not believe when Rory stood in front of us with a driver and he hit it how high the golf ball went. It was in the air forever. And you're thinking, like, with spin and technology, if you hit it that high, there's no way it could. I mean, it has to be a level where you start to diminish and it loses. How has he not reached that level with how high he was hitting it? But it stayed in the air forever. He carried one like 343 in front of him.
And I think for guys like that, like him and Bryson, it's more about the carry than the roll, because once it gets on the ground, it's out of your control.
Yeah.
If they can carry it 340 and it rolls out to 350, great. Like that, they probably feel more control over that than flying at 310 rolling out to 350.
Even from like 07 when you had your phenomenal year winning the US Amateur, like how much has the game changed even in the last 15 years since then?
Oh, it's crazy. I was sitting with the guys at Callaway one day and we were going over it, and I believe I'll probably mess this up, but in the year 2000, one guy averaged over 300 yards off the tee, and that was John Daly. 2010 there was 11. Last year there was 110.
Wow.
Jesus.
I mean, it's just it's so much distance.
It's just part of the
bias
game.
now.
You just
Yeah.
have to.
I mean, guys are just bigger, stronger, better athletes, and the equipment is also better too. Everyone says the equipment, but I mean, you look at these guys. Look at Dustin Johnson. Look what Bryson's done. Gary Woodland. I mean, these guys are athletes. They're not me. I mean, so it's changed a lot. And it's now where guys. I don't think you'll see any guys coming out as rookies, as 22-year-old rookies that play the game the way I did, where it's precision. Manage your way around the golf course. It's just ship it and go find it and see what happens.
Where do you fall in the distance debate with golf courses?
No matter how long you make a golf course, if it's soft, it doesn't matter. These guys are going to kill it. They're so good. Like, it used to be like 200 yards used to be a hard shot for guys. Now it's a 7-iron, and these guys can land it exactly where they're looking every single time. The only way you can stop these guys is with long rough and firm greens.
Right.
So that's like, I mean, you look, I remember when Brooks won the U.S. Open at Erin Hills. I know a place y'all been to a lot. Everybody's like, oh, this place is so hard. I think he broke the record for low score at U.S. Open at, I think it was 16 under.
I think he was 16.
It was 7,800 yards. The next week was Hartford. It's 6,800 yards and 12 under one.
Yeah.
It's just,
Right.
The length doesn't really matter to these guys anymore. I mean, Bryson's stock 8-iron's 215 yards.
And isn't that okay though? Like
I'm fine with
isn't
it.
that okay with the best? That the best of the best just hit it really far and hit it really close to the hole, and they just go really low because they are the best of the best.
Yeah.
Like, why do we always have to try and change the sport because people are doing too well in it? That always boggles my mind.
Steph Curry's breaking every 3-point record there is. They're not raising the goal or moving the 3-point line any further back.
Right, and we're also talking about we have to swing out of our shoes just to get 275 carry today at the Kingdom. That doesn't affect us. It doesn't affect 99.9999999% of golfers on the planet. So it's amazing that it gets so worked up about it. And I actually love the fact that they're turning it into this monster jam type of sport where we're just seeing bunkers being flown. And I know it's not the way the game was supposed to be played, and some of these courses are being disrespected in the architecture or whatever, but hey, that's just evolution, baby. That's just, guys are just getting better.
It is. I use last fall when they went to the Summit Club in Las Vegas as an example. Everyone was like, it's ridiculous the scores they're shooting. I'm like, the Summit Club is a discovery property made for rich people that like to have fun. It's not made for PGA Tour events. They just happen to host a PGA Tour event, and these guys are going to torch it. That's what it is. But the other 99.5% of the time, it's a bunch of hacks out there that are just out there to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if anything, I think Rom kind of summed it up when he was caught bitching about the setup, last week, which it's and this came, 2 weeks after JT made his comments of, if you give us any golf course in the world that is soft and there's no wind, we are going to light it up no matter how long
we're going
to
shoot nothing.
We're going to shoot nothing. Right. That's what he said. It's just a phenomenal thing to say. We're going to, literally every time we tee it up, we're going to shoot 1 million. He's going to shoot nothing. But they're right in that, and I think this has always been Brandel's point of, and a lot of what Frankie was saying, which is that if you do try to change the game, it's a bummer because you're going to affect the game and the way it currently is. And if you have 2 different sets of rules, that's going to affect everything. Whereas now we can all use the same stuff, the same conforming stuff. We can go out and play the same golf courses and have very few spots that are truly affected by just lengthening them. In terms of a few major championship courses, a few spots on tour where, you're going to have to continue to lengthen them a little bit. But that's fine because if you can get the conditions to the point where there's rough, there's firm greens, firm conditions, it's going to be tough. The last U.S. Open at Marion was, 2013? And it was under 7,000 yards. Mm-hmm. And Justin Rose won. I think he was 1 over par.
Yep.
And it's like that.
Olympic Club, Webb Simpson shot 1 over and won. It's same thing. It's right at 7,000 yards.
That wasn't that long ago. It was less than 10 fucking years ago. It's less than a decade ago.
You can't control Mother Nature. I mean, if it's soft, like the year Gary Woodland won at Pebble. Pebble's a great place that holds up no matter what because it's got little small greens. Mm-hmm. You can get, there's a lot of trouble out there. But that week, it was really overcast. They had very little wind, and I think he shot 13 under to win. But then you see when Graham McDowell won, I mean, he shot 1 or 2 under when he won. I mean, it's just Mother Nature controls scores. There's no doubt about it. I mean, if you get it dry and windy, and you can firm the place out, it's gonna test the guys.
When you were playing, were you rooting for easy conditions, or did you want it as hard as possible?
No, harder was better for me. Just having a premium on driving it straight was big for me. That's why I love Sawgrass. I actually played well here at Torrey Pines a few times. I mean, I 15th, which is pretty good.
You
7,800 yards. But this is a place where it's really long, and they normally have the rough 4 or 5 inches. So whether you hit it 320 or 270 and you were in the rough, you were screwed. Yeah. And that made it tough. And so I liked that. I don't mind having 205 and I hit hybrid, and I love hitting hybrid. I'd rather hit hybrid than 5-iron.
Yeah.
So I liked it to be tough. I never really played well at the places where you had to shoot crazy low.
Yeah, it's interesting because there probably are some guys that take advantage of it, right? But you hear the most competitive guys saying they want the toughest test because the best players will come out on top.
Yeah, I think that was John Rahm's point. When it's tough, it's really hard to beat that guy. Yeah. I mean, he's good at every aspect of the game. He has 0 weaknesses. Weeks in Palm Springs at the American Express, it's a pro-am, first off. It's not supposed to be set up hard. You got amateurs in the field. Guys can get away with a lot more, and not always the best player wins that week. I mean, you can hit it 40 yards offline, and you don't get punished for it. Torrey Pines, you're going to get punished.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's mostly, I feel the woke golf Twitter, woke golf crew that is so much against the current distance. They're so much against a lot of the courses like Torrey Pines and the things we're looking at. And, we all understand the history and the nuance of the game. We like the traditions. We love the Masters and Augusta. We think, all that stuff's really cool. So we all, I think, can understand a little bit of both sides of it. But at the end of the day, when you look at the stuff we just talked about, which is numbers of things don't always have to be long, and there's other ways you can set them up. And the fact that, when they did it at the, what's the Dallas Trinity Forest, when they had the, attorneys there, that a lot of the woke golf tour is all jacked up with core Crenshaw, and it's going to, and they went out and just dropped wedges in next to the hole and lit it up.
Well,
and
every
like,
fairway 60 yards wide. I mean,
and everyone argues like, yeah, it's about the angles, and that's going to really, and it just didn't. It was like they can just pound it a 350 yards, drop wedges in tight, and shoot 30 under par. And that, to most people must speak, like that's not a problem. But if you're bitching and saying that you really need to have, you know, these certain old school elements to golf to really make it interesting, like I think that kind of proved like not really.
well, you look at this place, for example, Torrey Pines. I mean, look at the last 2 U.S. Opens they've had. I mean, Tiger Woods in Rocco Media 2008, incredible finish. Mm-hmm. Last year, John Rahm, incredible finish. This place produces unreal finishes because it's so hard, but it's so fair, and it's hard for guys to separate themselves.
Which is weird for me that people would like hate this place.
I don't understand how they do.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite venues for a U.S. Open.
But is it more about the layout that people don't like it?
Yeah,
right, but that's what we're saying. The layout's delivering like
the potential, but then I'm a huge water guy. I love cliffs. I love the ocean. I love views. I'll take views over architecture any day. It's just who I am. I love that stuff. And so I would knock some points down on that, but also I would say that not every golf course has to be the same exact on the cliffs. Every single hole has to be Pebble Beach, right? So this has a little bit of everything. It's an inland golf course. It doesn't utilize the cliffs that it has, but you still get the views. You still get the amazing feel that you're at, you know, a Pebble Beach type golf course. So I don't hate that fact. I love Torrey Pines. It's really grown on me. E-Bug and I have been here, I mean, more than we can ever imagine. When we did the behind the greens out here, and I've fallen in love with it. I love Bethpage, and this is the Bethpage of the West Coast. I love it. You don't like Bethpage?
That's my nightmare. No, I just kicked the shit out of it.
But then
it's so hard.
But then you played well here. So like, what's the difference there?
Bethpage, there's so many forced carries, right? Like you look at like number 12.
Number 12 is a
Number 12 is like the most ridiculous. For me, it's like 275 to cover the bunker. I can't cover it. If you hit it out to the right, you have 275 to the front of the green. I can't get there. I'm like, this is just it's impossible.
That is an unplayable hole.
It's just, for me, I played with Gary Woodland there one year, and he takes it over the corner and has 9-iron in.
Yeah.
And I'm like playing it as a 3-shot hole. It's just, that place is just really hard for me.
15 is just the hardest hole.
This
Maybe
hole
16. 17 is the green's impossible to hit when it gets firm. Mm-hmm. Cool place though, fun to play. The crowds up there rowdy.
To get back to the weather, like as just amateur hacks, when we play a match, I enjoy the tougher courses and tougher conditions because I think it levels out the playing field for all of us. If it's a perfect day out in Arizona with like a course that Riggs knows, or maybe a wide open place that Lurch can just bomb the ball all over the place, I know I have no chance. But like Bandon Dunes, we're all walking up to the first tee being like, this is going to be a grind. I'm mentally saying when I'm on the first tee,
you're getting mentally tough.
I'm just saying, like, man, I think we all have a chance here today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Riggs is going to hit the ball mile right because the wind's in his face and he hates that. And Lurch is not going to be able to get the balls on the green. Like, if I can just somehow
if it's windy, I know I got a good chance against Riggs.
Maybe they have me in a 6-degree driver now. That's like the wind.
You're playing a 6-degree driver.
Basically, the wind just decimates me, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you hit these like high pop. I mean, yeah. No, it's what is it? It's not 6. 8.
Is it today at the Kingdom? And I was piping the thing.
You're doing what?
Really good.
He's got a putter, basically.
Ultimately,
did we highlight that? Do we know about that today?
The guy ultimately fit me
Look at this posture he's going to give us too for the delivery.
I want to show off my Blues
socks.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy.
The Blues might win the Stanley
Let me tell
Cup.
you a story about my
boy's playing there now. James Neal.
Great. Oh,
the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
Real deal, James
Neal. We might get Kachuk too. So, today
James
I'm hitting the
Neal
ball
Blues.
too, but I'm hitting it straight with this little cut. And he's like, dude, your swing like looks good. And like you're hitting it good. He's like, it's just so spinny because clearly I have like a little fucking steep like bullshit thing. But he's like, I don't want to dramatically change your swing right now. Like, as you improve it over time, we can tweak stuff. But right now, we got to keep going down on the loft. So I'm like, okay. So he gives me the 8-degree driver head. He goes, I don't even know that we make these. Gives me the 8-degree stealth driver head. And then I hit a couple, and he's like, it's still a little spinny. And then he lofts it down. He de-lofts it down. You know how they have the little
those little
de-loft
degrees.
thing? He de-lofts it down. He's like, I don't know exactly what it's at, but like you might have like a 6.5-degree driver. I started like piping these like much lower.
Isn't that what
like,
Bryson's using?
Pretty nice.
Bryson's
ball
like
play.
5.5, 6. I think.
What?
It hits it 100 yards farther than I do. But I was starting to hit him like 285. I was hitting him out there like Bug had me. I was hitting it like 285 in these sick cuts. And he's like, dude, I think you're just going to have to walk out here with an 8-degree driver de-lofted down to like 6.5.
That's what I was trying to
Whatever
do.
works.
That's
man.
scary because if you're not on, you're just going to be hitting low just missiles, no? There's
I don't hit it low, dude. It's like impossible.
So your miss is never low.
I can hit anywhere on the face at any time, but like my actual golf swing, there's no way I'm just like, oh, today Riggs hitting it a little too low. Like,
Yeah.
no, I just like.
Dude, if I
Colt-
used a 6.5, the ball would never get up. I
let me-
was using a 10.5 today.
And he
That's
saw your
normal,
stats.
dude.
I want to understand. So I launched it, I guess, 8 degrees.
That's really low.
Really
With a
low.
driver, yeah, it's really low.
And then I had 117 and 173.
So basically, if you want a perfect contact, right? So it's a time and a half your club head speed.
Yeah.
So 100 miles an
Smash
hour,
factor.
yeah, would be 150 ball speed. So what was your club head speed?
117,
117. So you're
173.
you're at 58 and a half. So 58 and a half and 117 is 175.
Okay.
So you're close.
Close,
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
And 8 degree is too low.
I think it's too low. You look
Gotcha.
at these guys out here, it's anywhere 12 to 15 degrees a launch.
I was
wow.
a 12.5 today.
See, that's pretty good.
That's like right in the
I
sweet
would
spot.
have
Thank you.
I carried with this.
I also wanted on
carried
record I hit 1 317 and won the long
311.
drive contest today against
287,
Benjamin.
311?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just going to ignore that?
What was your spin?
I mean,
what
of
was your
course.
spin?
No.
I won the long drive
26.
contest today at the Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, you could bring it down
Anyone
to
listening to
21
me?
or 22
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
Anyone listening to me over here? I won the long drive contest.
Yeah,
Does anyone
Frankie
get
won the
talking?
long drive.
No, I mean, you're
I
wired.
saw it on
You
Twitter.
absolutely-
I don't care how wiry I am. I'll
You
wire your
released the
asshole. Like I'm fucking.
I'll shut that thing with a couple wires, boy.
I'm just fucking cranking golf balls out there. Yeah, you have to give me one pat on the back for that because
Dude,
you
I
know
did.
I'm a fucking shit golfer. So
How'd you
You're
feel?
not.
How'd
You
you feel about
swore-
Max's tweet to you though after
Oh
you posted
man,
that?
dude, that guy, Mr. PiP himself, just every chance he has, every time he has a chance to just get involved with something that we
he's
might
in the
be
mix.
gloating about our golf game, he just brings us right back down to earth.
Yeah, he's in
he's
the
done
mix.
that twice to me. One time I put up a video of myself hitting at Sage Valley, my favorite place on earth. It's like the background on my phone, and I put up a drive, and he's like, "If this is the best you got, you need to like stop and quit the game ever." I don't know how you have a podcast. It was like the meanest thing ever. And then the second time is today. He goes, "If you really would have won the long drive contest if we put you behind a bunker with a wedge to see if you can get it onto the green." So it's just the guy never lets me live.
I will say Mac's a nice guy that we all love and cherish. He comes on Barstool stuff all the time. Part of my take guys with us. He's on with you guys. We're all close to him. But he will fire
He's ruthless.
kill shots on the internet out of nowhere, unprovoked.
He's got good bullshit, man. Like he's witty.
Kill shot.
Unfortunately, he like wins too, so like it kind of
You
backs
can't
him
fire
up.
back at a pro golfer. What do
Yeah,
you say?
it
Like,
backs
I
him
almost,
you shot
if I
63,
was,
you jerk.
but here's the thing is that then I was going to enter the fray and I was going to be like,
This should be good.
how come you're on the couch, not on the golf course right now?
Whoa!
But then I know, then he's
They'll
going
just
to,
send
That's
you a-
out there
oh, he'll
now. That's
murder
out
me.
there
send you a
now.
picture
this
with
ain't
him with
going
a
out
trophy
for-
and
Skip
just
that promo,
millions of
Jake.
dollars.
Promos.
but that's what I mean. Like then he'll just like, he'll just go lower really.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and bury
he'll
me.
kill
So it's
you.
like, I just stayed out. I stayed out of the fray. I think I just said, oh man, I'm racking up likes.
Oh man.
I'm racking up likes at Frankie's expense like you wouldn't believe.
With an oh man tweet.
Yeah, just said,
Oh man. Whoa.
Yeah, I was in the pisser after Colt. I was in there just looking at my toilet. I just wrote, oh man.
Yeah,
Oh man.
Well, you like to mix it up like with the trash talk. Did you do that when you were playing? Like, did you ever get
On
into-
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean during the tournament, like everybody's out there doing their job, so there's none of that. I mean,
Peter Millar, baby. Everybody knows we love Peter Millar. I'm rocking one of their crew necks right now, which is it's just a great look. We always look really good. Frankie's got the Peter Millar on right there.
I gotta get some crew necks. That's what I gotta get. I wear crew
You like
necks.
this
I'm
puppy
wearing a crew neck
trick,
right
Donnie?
now. I'm wearing a Barstool Sportsbook crew neck. It's nice and it's comfortable, but I would also like some Peter Millar crew necks. Put them into my rotation.
You know how you would get that? You go to petermillar.com/foreplay, Mr. Trent Ryan, and you can explore the Cradle crew neck as well as the complete line of performance pullovers from Peter Millar. They've got the best Q-zips ever created. They got phenomenal hoodies now. What's it? The lava wash? Is that the one you
Lava
guys love?
wash.
Yep.
Buddy.
So
They
nice.
got great
Best in the
hoodies,
game. Best in the game.
crew necks, polos, pants, shorts. They even got like beachwear now. So do yourself a favor. Get the best gear in the game. I hear it over and over at the Barstool Classics, which sold out in about 3 minutes, by the way. At the Barstool Classics, everybody rolls up. They say, you know what, Riggs, you and Trent and Frankie and Lurch, you finally convinced me to do it, to go to the website, petermillar.com/foreplay, to buy Peter Millar pants or Q-zips or vests or whatever. And I went back the next week after it came in and I said, I have to have more. Anyone that's wearing anything else is idiotic. It's moronic. Make sure that you go to petermillar.com/foreplay, explore the Cradle crew neck as well as the complete line of performance pullovers from our very good, talented friends at Peter Millar.
you know, Gary Woodland's my best buddy in the world. If we got paired together, there was the occasional one. I remember at Charlotte, he made fun of how short I hit it on one hole. and I reminded him the hole before that he hit in another fairway. So there's some like trash talking there, but most of the time it's just saved for Tuesday money.
Nothing
games.
that went over the line like during like a Saturday heated exchange. You're not like, you don't have like a Rory Sabbatini out there or something.
I got into it with Rory
Yeah.
one
I
time.
feel like everybody's got it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do. I got into it with him at Harbour Town one year, and I let him
How
know
does that go?
Wasn't that
Like
where-
how does an exchange like that on the PGA Tour go? Like, you have a lot of fans out there. You got TVs everywhere, mics. Like, who starts that? Like,
Yeah, so I mean, listen, Rory's been a great player for a very long time. Sabatini, we're talking about. I love Rory McIlroy. Let's make sure we get that straight.
That clip out, Jake. Just Rory.
Yeah, we were
every time he says 17,
exactly. Just put it out.
Rory, play a guessing game.
no, we were
Who's
playing-
Colt talking about?
We were playing at Harbour Town one year, and it was blowing like 30 miles an hour. It's crazy. And you get back in those trees, the wind comes and goes and all this. And he was just irritable all day. And we get to the 12th hole, and I was over a shot, and the wind just completely stopped. So I backed off. And I guess while I was backing off, he was like ready to go. Like he had the club he wanted. He was ready. And so he's like trying to signal to my caddy that he's going to go. And my caddy's like, dude, shut up. I'm paying attention to Colt. So I get in, hit it, and I hit it really close. He chunk hooks it in the bunker, and he is just dog cussing me walking up there. And I'm like, I was like, is he talking to me? Like, what did I do? And he told me, he's like, apparently he wanted to hit. I'm like, geez, whatever. So he hits his bunker shot, hits it outside my approach shot, then putts it like 3 feet by, and he goes, I'll wait. And he looks right at me and goes, again. And I'm like,
Oh, my God.
I go, are you fucking kidding me right now, dude? Like,
Did you say that?
Yeah. I go, what is your problem? He's like, it took forever back there and all this. And I'm like, dude, I literally didn't take hardly any time at all. I was like, and you're being totally inappropriate right now. Like, we're both trying to do our job out here. I'm not a slow player at all. So I didn't appreciate it at all. So I let him know about it a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to fight anybody.
I feel like, is that the place where
That guy's unbelievable.
didn't Spieth hit into him?
That was at Sawgrass.
Well, that was at Sawgrass. I didn't know if that was at Harbour Town too. I was like,
Both
maybe
Pete
that's a
die
spot.
track, so they look similar. Give that to you.
And the whole broadcast at that point was like, uh-oh, Rory Sabbatini's getting going in front of Spieth. It was like,
And I think Spieth even said a comment like, "Oh, I hope that wasn't Rory Sabbatini."
he did. He goes, oh, dude, was that Rory?
Yeah, he goes of all
Yes.
the people. He goes of all the people you could hit it.
And I
at.
think
gotta get him
Sabbatini
on
was
the
in like a
podcast.
bright
He's
yellow
an absolute
shirt. He
lunatic.
we
looked
need to
like
get
a
him like
Hulk.
riled up. We need to get a fight.
We
with
get, yeah.
get in a fight with him.
him. Yeah, we
Keep
need to
yapping him, say, "Yeah, Sabbatini."
No, I mean like a metaphorical fight. Like
Rory
on the-
Sabbatini versus Rahm after Rahm like gets into a putting contest. Bullshit, whatever he said.
Rahm's a strong man. I wouldn't want
He's
any piece
thick.
of that.
You think Rahm's the odds-on favorite to win a rough and rowdy PGA Tour
No.
fight?
I don't know, dude. He's
I don't know,
strong
man.
and,
I don't know
like,
how you can knock him out.
has a
Who was that 6'7" guy that showed up last week?
That guy's a problem.
He is huge.
Who is that dude?
Huge. What is that guy's name?
I said, I don't know what Marshall. I was like, dude, this is bullshit. Like, he got that and I got this. Like, what the hell? Thanks, mom and dad. Appreciate
He's
it.
like, I
He's
just
9
watched the
feet
30 for
tall.
30 on the plane out here of when the Orlando Magic got Shaq. It's a really good 30
Yeah,
for
that
30.
is good. I've
Fucking
seen that.
crazy what happened in Orlando. They kept getting first round picks out of
Right.
nowhere. But just how amazing Shaq was coming out of college, that like this 7-foot guy was actually running
freak.
and dunking
LSU.
and just fucking actually athletic. And it's like this guy, like you're saying, you have a 6'7" golfer. Like, come on, like how is that even fair? Why
carries
is the
it
guy?
360. It's like,
Right.
He's what?
He carries it like 360.
Oh, I thought you said
He
he's
has-
360 pounds.
No, he's 211 mile an hour
Yeah.
ball speed. Like, that's just
It's
insane.
211.
That guy's gonna keep Bryson up at night for sure.
Yeah, because it's natural.
Yeah,
Like he's just doing it, swinging it, and letting it fly.
he's his like.
And Bryson's
Drago,
going,
like, it's like Rocky. He's that like Russian that he's just like he's built bigger than me. I gotta try and beat him. You know what I mean?
Have you guys had Bryson on?
We haven't. Not yet. No,
Do you have a
he's
good
been on.
relationship with Bryson?
Yeah. Went to same school, SMU. Obviously, he's
Yeah.
younger than me, but he's been on our Sirius XM show, and he's been great. We just haven't got him on the pod yet.
Is there anybody you had on like that you've been most nervous about or anything? Do you get nervous for interviews? I know you know a lot of the players well.
No, I don't get nervous for him. Most of the guys I know already. Like, there's been very few that
Yeah.
they just come on and I haven't known him. Kiradek was pretty much the only guy that I've really never had a relationship with, and he was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rats all time. He's my boy Sleaze's favorite interview ever.
Is that right?
Oh, he has the biggest man crush on the Rat.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's great. He's a big dude. He's ripping his vapes out there. I mean, he's awesome. He just swings it. He likes to hit the big stick, as he says, and he just hits it as hard as he can and figures it out.
What's he love cars too? Is he a
Yeah,
car guy?
He spent everything.
Easy.
He shared a great story on our pod how his wife thought he was cheating on her. He had a separate apartment in Thailand where he kept all his shoes, and she found out.
Come on.
Yeah.
No
and
way.
She's like, she thought he was cheating on her. And so he had to go show her, like, I just keep all my shoes here. Because every shoes he gets, he buys 2 pair. He wears a pair and then he keeps a pair.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
But he had his own apartment. He had like 1,500 pairs of shoes.
There might be something going on
plug
there.
the show. People should go.
Yeah, Golf Subpar. It's fantastic.
People go check it out.
Number 2 podcast in golf.
That's true. That's right. I'm nipping at the old heels.
At our golf podcast.
You ever get
I like it. I like the competition. It's nice.
Oh, it's not. I mean, y'all kill it. Y'all do a great job.
So do you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we
come
have
a
fun
long
with
way.
it. It's
Me
been
and
good. Yeah, come a long way from sucking at golf on tour to talking into a microphone.
I think we felt sucking at golf not on tour.
Well, it's interesting that you say you don't get nervous because you have a totally different relationship with these guys. You're friends with them. You're one of their peers, and for us, we're very much fanboy. And when we interview them, it's like our listeners are almost experiencing that they're interviewing them because like we're not supposed to be in this position to be able to talk to these guys. Like even you, right? Like we're not supposed to be here at Torrey Pines being able to do this. I'm just a fucking pizza boy that from East Meadow, and Lurch is a fucking drone
long drive
loser,
contest,
and you're just fucking a Harvard
Tried to
guy.
say something positive.
Oh, that was a real dig.
Trent's just not here anymore. Yeah, I don't know where Trent is. So fucking. So when you're interviewing them, it's got to be a little bit different to be like, all right, like now the mics are on because you're such boys with them. Do you find it hard to like not talk to them like?
Well, I think that's one good thing about our show is it feels like 3 dudes sitting around just bullshitting and it happens to be recorded. But like obviously like I've known them for a long time, so I know that line. I know where I can go. Like there's obviously certain things that I can't say. And it's the same thing when I'm, on the broadcast. Like these guys, one of the benefits I have is they trust me and they know what I'll say and what I won't say. And that's great. I mean, last year at Memphis, I got the chance after Xander won the gold medal. Him, Spieth, and Justin Thomas were sharing a house in Memphis, and they had me over for dinner. And like,
huge.
It was awesome sitting around just listening to those guys talking. Like, I could have said some incredible stuff that the viewers would have liked, but also then they would have not been happy with me.
Right.
And I don't ever want to cross that line.
That's the kind of thing I was trying to get at. You have so much of that. Like we have a very small amount of it when we meet when we have our crew, and like now it's like, all right, like we go out for drinks with them or something. You want to bring it up on shows, but then your whole relationships with these guys.
Yeah, my big thing. Like I've gotten to the point where now it's like, especially for CBS, like I'm like, hey, are you cool if I say that on air?
Yeah.
And if they say no, then we're not going to do it.
That's pretty much our process too. I would say, like, no, there are definitely. I mean, obviously, guys we don't like, we'll just roast them. But guys that we're like, we'll just let it, we'll fire and just wherever it sticks, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, like I mean, I'll give you an example. Like last year, we were at Congaree down in South Carolina, and Pat Perez just started working with Claude Harmon that week, and he hadn't got rid of Drew Steckel yet. And he hadn't told Drew. And so I went to Pat and I was like, is it cool if I say this was your first week working with Claude? And he's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm firing Drew on Monday. I'm like, all right, I just wanted to ask before I just threw it out there and that's how Drew would have found out. That would have sucked.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and it's always interesting, right? Because there's people that'll complain about like access journalism. We're not, a couple things. One, we're not journalists. We're like podcasters, and you're a podcaster, you're on course reporter now, but also, another point that we always make is like, we're not covering Capitol Hill, man. Like we're covering fucking golf.
Right.
Yeah.
They literally are golfers. And like, we're actually going to get way better stories and information and insight from these guys and girls in the game. If, we're close with them and have great relationships with them and get access to them, like that's going to outweigh us coming on and being like, well, technically due to journalistic standards in Mizzou Journalism School, we have to reveal this story because it wasn't off the record. It's like, shut the
coolest
fuck
thing
up.
about golf is that the listeners can go out and do the thing they heard on the podcast.
Yeah.
So
I
when
totally
we're
agree
talking
with
with you right now about launch angle and like sweeping through the ball, whatever the fuck we're talking about, these guys can listen to it on the driving range and do what we're talking about. If I'm listening to a hockey podcast or a baseball podcast or an NFL guy, I'm listening to it and I kind of want it to be a little bit more professional because that's the world that I watch it in. I watch hockey and I want to know the X's and O's about hockey. I can't go play it in the NHL, but I want to know.
You play in roller hockey league?
I play. I'm a 1 point per game. I'm a 1 point per game guy.
In the last league,
Not in the B league.
In
The B league, it's been a
I'm
nightmare.
-7. These are
And no
updated
points.
stats. 0 points, -7. The team is 0-3 with me in the lineup.
Yikes.
4-0 with me not in the lineup.
Ooh.
We didn't know that.
A lot of stuff
That's
happened.
new.
But you know what I mean, though? Like these guys can listen to us and they can actually take something from it.
And when you have like a guest on, whether it's y'all's show or our show, like I think they want to come on because it's not your normal interview.
Yeah.
Like they get to have
totally.
fun. Like I always tell people, like I didn't do a lot of interviews because I didn't play well enough, but like I could tell you 90% of the questions that we're gonna get asked before we even started, and I hate that. Like, be different. Like, show these guys they're normal humans. They have to have fun. Like Jordan Spieth came on our pod, and he had a few beers, and it was on YouTube, and they're like, I can't believe he's drinking beer. I'm like, he's a 25-year-old kid. Like, what do you think he does?
See, as me, when I was
It's
like,
an off
me as a
week.
viewer, I love that shit. Like when my favorite
Right.
TV character or like or someone like says a curse word, right? When you ever like, let me rest in peace, but Bob Saget, when he started messing around on like Barstool podcast, you're like, wait a minute, the guy from Full House is cursing.
How about when he was on Entourage? Like,
right, Entourage.
Apparently that's the real Bob Saget.
Yes,
I was like, I love this guy.
He's
So
banging
it's such a
hookers
peek
and
behind the
like,
curtain
oh.
of like, holy shit, these guys are real people. It's nuts. So yeah, I see what you're saying, but I totally am that same person that would be like, wow, Jordan Spieth's drinking a beer right now. I kind of want to I kind of want to pay attention to that because it's just something different that I've never seen before. You know,
He's a 25-year-old
Yeah.
Texan, dude. Like that's what they do.
Not everything has to be like primped up and proper.
no.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's
There's-
hockey interviews too. We got to dump and chase. You know, we got to just
Oh,
get
God.
every
I
time.
mean, yeah.
Every
You get
interview.
Really
somebody-
team effort, you know. It's
Right.
like,
Then you go on Spitting
Grinding.
Chickens and they're talking about who's got the biggest wrench in the locker room. Like
Right.
then you
Hey.
realize you're like, holy shit.
The guy who King's Night.
Yeah, but
He's got an absolute
Henrik
wrench.
Lundqvist, he does. He has a huge
Supposedly
wrench.
he's got an absolute
That was
wrench.
an interview too that I didn't know the guy at all. Biz came on ours. And
What
it
a
was
legend he is,
Beautiful. God, is he funny.
yeah,
Just-
He is crushing it on TNT, by the way. Shout out to Biz.
He's good.
He is one of the
He's
more.
really good. He's on there
um,
with Wayne Gretzky.
effort-
Did you see on his
effortlessly funny
birthday the other day?
people.
They got him an actual goat.
So good.
So awesome.
He's,
I
that
love
was good.
he's effortlessly funny because
Yeah.
he doesn't even try and be funny with the questions he asks. Like he'll say something that he's very interested in, and the way he asks it makes you laugh.
I'll
You
tell you
guys are
another,
going to a golf tournament, It's like, dude. What are you're a clown? What are you talking about?
another hockey
You're a
guy that I
clown.
met recently in Scottsdale, Tyson Nash. You remember him?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
does TV now for the Coyotes. Same thing. Played golf with him. By the way, he carries half left-handed clubs and half right-handed clubs. An absolute legend. He's terrible,
on.
but he's
does
shitty
that
from
mean?
both sides. But it's awesome. But he talks kind of like Pat McAfee. His voice sounds like that, and he is. Y'all should get him on. He is a beauty.
Yeah, McAfee he's similar in that his voice.
Love Pat McAfee.
And a lot of that. Our boy Robbie Berger is similar to that, where his voice makes him just hilarious.
One of the funniest people on the planet.
Like he
Had a
could
good
say
couple beers with
anything
him
and
the
it
other
will be
night.
laugh out loud
Yeah.
funny.
Brilliantly dumb show. Shout out to them.
Yeah, big time.
We've been on that.
Yeah,
You'd be a good guest on that.
you would be.
I think Sleaze has talked to them actually.
Really?
Brilliantly
He's
dumb,
just
'cause I-
got this
yeah.
whole crew. He's got and he's
Fat Perez, just the fattest kid
just
you've ever seen.
Fat Perez and Joey Colt Knost.
Yeah.
And it's just he's got a really funny crew over there, and they're starting to get into the golf space, and their YouTube videos
He
are very
found
funny.
Jersey Jerry. I mean, like,
Yeah, Jersey Jerry from Barstool now. So yeah, we're gonna be we'll do something with them.
yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, they're funny as shit.
Do a little crossover situation.
Yeah,
We gotta start just doing more of that stuff. I was very anti that. Like I thought that like
you were.
well, we're very much in our own lane, and we like to just do things ourselves. And it's the same reason why like TaylorMade people that play TaylorMade clubs don't use Callaway fucking putters or whatever. That you're committed to your one company, and you try and bury everyone else in your existence. But the more that I've seen, it's just like I kind of just want to play golf with the brilliantly dumb guys. Like I just really enjoy them. And if we're gonna happen to film it, let's
And
film
you
it.
know everyone else would enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's listening. We're doing a crossover right now.
We
We're
are
in the
doing a
middle of
crossover
one.
right now. Maybe a year ago I wouldn't want to do it.
Now, I got a question for you about those socks you're wearing.
We can't sock shame because I'm wearing green that barely go up.
Can
to
the
Those
folks at home see my socks?
Yeah.
What's up?
There's just do you wear dress socks like that all the time, all the way up?
If I got a cool thing on there, yeah. And I don't like the feeling when they're scrunched.
Okay.
Feels sloppy.
Would you prefer that calf high sock, dress sock, over just an ankle high?
These are too high.
Okay, I'm just, that's all I wanted.
Mom
to
got me these for Christmas.
Okay.
Came in my stocking actually, so Santa Claus. But if they were, I wouldn't say lurch like this type of sock.
Couple inches, you want to be lower.
But so everyone knows it's an audio podcast. But
I know, but-
I'm wearing pants. When I wear pants, I wear long socks.
Okay.
When I wear shorts, I'll wear ankle socks. And the internet thinks I wear my white ankle socks too high, and I look like a dork. But anyways, that's unrelated. When I wear pants ever, I will wear long socks. I don't like them to be this long. This is kind of awkwardly long because you can really pull them up. Then again, you look kind of like a dork. But I like them to be like right here.
Yeah,
I would
that's
say.
fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Cole, do you have to wear specific clothes on the broadcast?
With CBS, yeah, I wear Adidas.
Okay.
And then obviously the other stuff I do, I can wear whatever.
Speaking of CBS,
Do they outfit you or no? Like, do they tell
I
you?
just send like a box of shirts and hoodies. I'm a big hoodie guy.
Yeah.
Big hoodie fan.
Hoodies on the golf course?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like hoodies are now in on the golf course. I actually I wore them years ago, and Whisper Rock would always be like, you can't wear that. I'm like, you sell them in the pro shop. Why can't I wear them on the golf course?
right.
It's
Now-
all changing.
Now hoodies is kind of the deal.
Everybody wears them.
We're doing the whole podcast with him now, so we might as well just talk about things that have happened since we recorded our last one. But fucking Tony Finau just stole my idea. Well, he didn't steal my idea. Anyone could have taken it, but he could have given me some credit. I mean, did you guys see this?
Let me ask you this though:
About,
Do you
like,
think
the
it's
walk up to the course?
Yeah.
I didn't understand what was happening.
Do you think it's definite that he got that
no.
from you?
Uh huh.
So what was your
You do?
idea?
Do you think? Rick?
No.
I think no way.
Tell me your idea.
What world are we fucking living in that we put out promos about it. Even when I talked to Morikawa about it, it was all over the fucking news.
Jake Bass is losing his mind over here thinking.
The way it was worded, it was like.
We're going to bring Jake Bass
on the mic.
Yeah, Jake Bass, here comes Jake Bass.
I think that Tony Finau definitely knew because like he's also one of those kind of fashion guys. The only reason I would side with them is like the social copy he had of like the hashtags and all that stuff.
Well, I think Nike took advantage of it. Like whoever's marketing team over there just took advantage of the idea because like we've been talking about it so much and no one else is doing it.
The original video.
What was your idea?
So basically, I was saying that.
Which, for the record, this was your original idea that you brought to Morikawa. Great idea.
This is before Morikawa even won the fucking Open. So this was months and months and months ago. Okay. So I told what? Northern Trust. We talked before the Northern Trust. I told Colin Morikawa that I had heard him mention that he likes how basketball players on the podcast, JJ Redick's podcast. I was listening to that podcast. I was about to interview Colin Morikawa. I was doing a little bit of prep. First time in my life I ever did that. So I'm listening to him on that podcast, and he basically said that he likes how the NFL and the NBA, they like to like show off their personalities a little bit more. So when I had him on the show, I said it's crazy that you guys wear the same thing from the coffee shop in the morning to the first tee, and we don't get to see who you are. You get a scripted outfit from Thursday to Sunday, and that's who you are in our eyes, right? So I said at the Northern Trust, you should just show up like fucking James Bond in a suit or a tux and take the ferry. He said he was taking the ferry over from New York City to the Northern Trust at Liberty National. He said, maybe I'll do that. And the guy fucking did it. He showed up, tagged me. He goes, isn't this a good idea, Frankie? Tagged me, and he's holding like a briefcase in a suit. The guy missed the cut. I'll take full blame for that. But basically, it's like, let's see these guys' personalities. And I also said you could wear a backwards hat. You can wear a hoodie. You can wear T-shirts. If you're in Hawaii, you can wear like a Hawaiian shirt. Like, I just want to see what you guys are. Who are you?
Yeah, that's fair.
I like go to a locker room. Like, what do you do in the locker room? You just like put on sunscreen?
I'm trying to see how to Finau do.
He missed the
cut. He missed the cut. So yeah, my idea sucks for playing, but
right, you look good,
bro. He went viral also. So basically, they were interviewing Morikawa, and he's like, "Yeah, I talked about this with Frankie for Barstool." It was like the whole thing. Then he tagged me, and like he did an AMA on his Instagram, and someone said, "Are you gonna start doing it more?" And he tagged me again recently and said, "Should we keep doing this, Frankie?" So we were talking about it again on the podcast. Fucking Tony Finau comes walking in this week, and he's wearing the backwards hat, the Nike, he's wearing the jean jacket, he's got the hoodie, Nike high tops, the jeans, and everyone. And his ad copy was like changing the game from car to the golf course or something like that. And I'm like, it's everything that we talked about. It was. Can we read like the copy?
So what he wrote on Twitter was, other sports call it pregame fits. ... We call it #Finau Fresh. Time for us to get in on the action with the little.
He's staying here. We can go get him.
Listen, he's not going to know why the fuck he did that. Someone probably approached him. They asked him to do it. I'm not asking for credit, even though I am. I'm just saying that it's a thing I've been talking about, and it happened. So let's not act.
I've switched sides. I'm on Frankie's side.
Thank you.
Here's what I will say.
Copy's outrageous.
Here's what I will say is that I'm not convinced, and I never said it wasn't this way, but I'm not convinced Tony Finau saw it or said we should do it. I'm convinced this Nike or somebody.
I just want an apology from Tony because he's the person that Nike. I want an apology from someone to say, and maybe a 5% cut of whatever they ended up selling from his stuff. I want people to acknowledge that no one in the history of the game of golf has ever talked about going from the car to the golf course wearing a different outfit. There's never been there's no been an executed plan, but people have definitely talked about it. There's never been like, what's the word I'm looking for? Trent's usually here to help me with when I can't think of words.
Yeah, you're on an island.
There's never been like a formulated
calculated.
There's never been it's not like a parade. It's a parade. It's
but like Tiger that year at the
No, Colt, don't let him off. He's got to come up with whatever.
I can't think of words.
Like there's never been like
I do too, socially, but
I have no idea what he's trying to say.
Nobody,
like a push, I'm pushing for
a campaign.
A campaign. There's never been a campaign. I said parade too. There's never been a campaign to change the game from car to locker room. It just so happens that we've been talking about it a lot in the last couple of months, and Tony did it. So yeah, I know guys are starting to change it up. Fucking Brooks Koepka showed up like a beach boy the other day. I mean, what the hell was that, wearing the blonde hair? So it's starting to change.
Frankie approved.
Well, I actually think he looked pretty good. I do. Sorry for the rant, guys. I'm just saying.
Hey, campaign.
I'm just saying, and you know, I know we have a guest and we want to keep getting. I'm sorry, Tony. It upset me. It upset me. I got a lot of 5%. Tweets.
He probably honestly will apologize to you because he's the nicest dude on the planet.
He's not gonna know what the fuck's going on. He doesn't even know who I am. But
that's why I was saying that. I don't know that he got it. But the Nike thing, I agree.
Someone got in
I
his
told
head.
Well,
Phil Knight, call Frankie and apologize.
Yeah, that's who I want. Yes,
Shoe Dog. I read
Shoe
that
Dog.
book.
He didn't read it.
I
Here's
read
a good
that
question
book.
for you. If you listen to a audio book on your phone, did you read the book?
I mean, not technically, but I would count it.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big reader. So
All right, question for you. You're in a job interview. One of the job interview questions is they're going through their whole thing. One of them is, have you ever read Phil Knight's Shoe Dog and you've listened to the interview? Would you answer no?
absolutely not. I'd say yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
You read it.
You know all the words that were in that book. So yeah.
Every one of them. I listen. I mean,
I know what's going on in that book.
It's just you didn't read it. You quite literally didn't read it. You have to.
I heard it.
I mean,
Hey, listen. I'm
but the
sorry. I'm
question-
sorry that you engaged with something
The
that has
question
put
is
you in the
about
position to have to
understanding.
now say a new word. But you have engaged.
This isn't a lie detector test. This is
Hey,
about
Lurch, let
understanding.
me finish.
Correct.
He is now
Are
engaged.
you trying to put a campaign together?
Yes, Riggs has
Parade?
now engaged in a new form of technology, unfortunately for him, where he now has to say, actually, no, I didn't read it. I listened to it in audio form. I did. I didn't read it.
no
It's
way.
not the word. I
That's
didn't read
psychotic.
And then,
It is
and then
psychotic.
whoever's
The thing you
interviewing
did
at
had
that
put you in
point
that
goes,
position.
get out of my room. You're a
Well,
psychopath.
you know what? It's the year 2022, and we're listening to fucking books now. It ain't fucking Charles Dickens in the 1800s.
Didn't read it, but I did listen to the audio
Sorry.
book. Thank you.
You ain't reading anything. You didn't. You quite literally didn't.
Speaking of CBS Sports,
Yeah, good pivot.
congratulations on your recent contract. I
Go ahead and get the nice stuff out of the
increased
way.
role.
Thank you.
And while we're here, I have to ask. You posted this video announcing to the world, thanking CBS Sports for the opportunity, announcing that you are now going to have, an increased, more comprehensive role with CBS. But the way that you did it, do you want to talk about the way that you did it?
Yeah, I wasn't very proud of it, to be honest.
Okay.
I got asked to do this video, and
Have you guys seen this video?
I tried my
No,
best.
but-
Like they wanted me to do it like a creative
Is it on
announcement and all
Subpar?
this. It's on, I don't know, Twitter, Instagram, whatever.
I think it's on his
But
personal.
first off, I've never filmed myself doing anything but hit a golf ball.
So you set the phone down and filmed yourself?
I
You
bet
had,
there's been a couple
Yeah.
nasty films out there.
So yeah, and
Pick up this banana between my ass cheeks.
You know what I mean? Just something fucking crazy. But to be honest, like I didn't know what I was doing.
Did not see that one coming.
This is what we deal with.
Yeah.
I just gave myself a headache.
Show me the video, please. Before he talks about the video. Can
You
I see
just
it?
said pick a banana up between
So
my
I'm walking
cheeks.
over.
Yeah, I mean,
watch
give me a
this.
second.
Watch this. I'm gonna put the audio in 2 seconds here.
This is some-
Lasted longer in bed, boys. That's the goal. That's the key. You don't want it to end
Yep.
quickly, right? Finally,
Nope. You want to keep going and going and going.
you're having a little success. You're doing the thing, right? That's how you reproduce. Natural. It's primal. You're having a little sexual intercourse. You don't want to.
It is primal.
It's just primal.
It is.
It's just a
It
fact.
is. It's honestly probably the most primal thing that human beings can do.
We have
Different
to.
ways
We don't
to do it.
We're
You can
it's
do it
over.
cut- You can do it cuddly. You can do it primal. You can be hanging from the ceilings, getting put through drywall. You can be, you can do the whole thing. It doesn't matter how you like it, what's flavor you like. You want to make sure it lasts as long as possible. It's like
Yeah.
you want it to be the what is it? What's the thing
Energizer
from-
Bunny.
No, but what's the thing from Willy Wonka? Like the everlasting
Chocolate
gobstopper.
Factory.
The gobstopper, yeah.
The everlasting gobstopper. You just want that thing to just keep, the juices to keep coming out forever.
Woo!
Okay,
You
Roman
wanna be
swipes
sucking on that
are a
thing for a
clinically
long
proven
time.
way to last longer in bed. They are effective, easy to use, fast acting. They do not require a prescription. They're super easy to use. So do yourself a favor. Go to GetRoman.com/4. You can get your first month of swipes for just $5. Choose a monthly plan. That's GetRoman.com/4.
Oh, I saw this.
First off, I was told what to say as well.
It's a nice little backdrop.
Take a minute, since it is the holiday season, the season of giving, to give all you golf fans a little early present out there. I'm excited to
This is not
announce
ironic.
that I'm expanding my role on the CBS golf team as an on-course reporter and will be on the CBS coverage. on a
This is
much
tough,
more regular
dude.
This is.
I cannot wait to be walking the fairways with the best players in the world.
You've got better videos than this out on the way.
Are you reading off a prompter?
No, I'm not. I was kind of told what to say.
I mean, it looks like you're a mannequin. Like there's
Yeah.
a hole in your
Admit that
ass and you're
someone was
like,
holding
clap
up
twice.
cue cards.
No, they weren't.
An AK-47.
Yeah, an AK-47. He's big on this hostage video thing. Like, I just don't know.
I think he's closer to the truth than you are.
No, he's probably right. I just don't know what to do with my hands.
No, that was
No,
So
your
it's
hands
just-
are rubbing. And
Like, listen, it's great that I'm out there on the golf course and they never show me. Like, you just hear my voice. Like, so I don't have to do anything. Like Amanda Baliona, she's a pro with talking with her hands. I need to take some lessons.
You should have
that's
you
true.
should
You
have
had
done a
dead arms.
walking selfie video, like going through some sort of garden or like any open field, being like, "Hey guys, it's Colt
Absurd
Knost."
Brooks
Like,
video
I want
or
you,
something.
just a fucking
Or
selfie.
Bryson.
Be, you know, your
See, I
first
should have
mistake-
called you before this.
Your first mistake was to put it on some sort of
I know.
surface.
It
and
was-
then
it was
stand
not
45
comfortable.
feet away and be like,
are you a one take guy? So it's once you do it, it's done.
That had to be multiple takes.
No, so
If that's
I
multiple
took
takes,
it.
it's worse.
I sent it in. There's some edits they wanted,
God.
and then
I
did-
can't believe
yeah,
they
you
didn't cut
told
it
me
off
about
above
that.
the hands.
Yeah,
if
just
you didn't
please,
see the
just-
hands, it'd be way better. The hands
So
are bad.
somebody you sent that to someone and on the other end they responded and were like, "Great, that's perfect."
Let's do it. Yeah. They're probably like, this is the best we're gonna get. Thank God he can talk about golf because this is just not
Dude,
it.
I think like Todd Martin sent me the video. I was like, "You fucking see this shit?"
Yeah, I know it was not good. It got a lot of likes.
Oh, tons.
Yeah,
Everybody's
But,
happy for you.
Yeah, I was not comfortable doing that. I don't enjoy that stuff.
No, I mean, and look, I get it. It is weird to like film yourself because we get all the time from our social team like, "Hey, we like need this ad," and I'm like, "Okay, just alone in my apartment, I'm supposed to come up with some kind of like interesting video now to be like to post and like satisfy this sponsor need." Like,
Yeah.
I mean, one time I came out of the bathroom like naked and made Lurch film me about we were talking about deodorant. Or
Oh,
something.
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
have
He's
some
like,
weird
"What do you?"
videos out there.
That's just awkward.
Oh yeah, terrible ones.
Yeah, you do.
Terrible.
You've had to wear like thong once, right? Like you have just a lot
That
of
was
weird
pretty
Hey,
shit.
beat me
Yeah.
onto our thong.
Luckily,
Actually,
my,
look,
my nipples aren't on
On the
internet.
web, the
No.
World Wide Web.
I'll say the page video. I actually, of all my videos, I thought I actually looked decent in that video.
Yeah, it's still awkward.
Is that what you're going on this cleanse diet right now in case you have to wear a thong again?
It's not a cleanse. I just don't eat breakfast.
It was just psychotic.
Or you just drink water now?
What was the
Yeah, you
name
didn't
of,
even have a
of
beer
the
with us. That's
sandwich shop
rude.
we got today? Do you
I
guys
was on a
know?
little bit of a bender and Piner, so it's just kind of calming down for a few days.
We had amazing sandwiches today in Carlsbad.
They were pretty good.
They were great. And
Lurch
they-
didn't
croutons?
love him. He said pretty
Huh?
good.
Did you go to a place called
pretty good, I
Croutons?
think.
It could have been the name. They have this like
I didn't
famous
have one.
sweet and sour sauce they
Remember
put on
I don't
all
eat-
the
I
don't
on
know.
all the sandwiches.
Fatso.
You like
Lunch.
dip the sandwich in
There's a
there.
good sandwich place there called Croutons.
It's probably
It
it
was good,
because
too,
all the guys from Taylor made were like, you got to go to this place. And then my point bringing this up, Riggs just didn't eat. We were all
No,
sitting
no.
there at the Kingdom and he just didn't eat.
Thank
Just watched
God,
us eat.
actually, because we didn't have enough sandwiches.
trying to get real
so I went back
skinny
for
or
a
what?
second.
I like to get skinnier for sure.
I think you live longer if you don't eat until 3 o'clock or something. There's like,
Sounds
It is
miserable.
amazing
Well, I
how
listened
much
to Joe
you don't
Rogan
need to
podcast
eat.
with
'Cause
Dr.
we
Sinclair from
I did a
Harvard, smart
5-day
guy.
juice cleanse, and you realize how much you don't actually have to eat. And someday I've actually done now 1-day water cleanses, which is right next to starving.
Yeah.
But it is amazing. Your body's just like fine. You don't you don't actually have to eat 3 meals today.
Not even
I'm
close.
obviously a man who likes to eat.
Same.
And
I'm a volume
when,
guy.
When I got COVID, I lost my taste and smell, and I had no taste for
You're
2
still
weeks.
eating, though.
And no, but not at all. Hardly. You realize like you just eat because you enjoy it.
Yes.
Like when you can't taste anything, like I would have like 2 to 3 bites of grilled chicken, and be like, all right, this sucks. I'm full.
My
Yeah.
buddy's
And I'd
wife,
feel fine.
My buddy's wife said I had to take away the emotional attachment next to food.
why don't we just take a little pill that just makes everything taste bad?
No,
for 2 or 3
because I
weeks?
love the
suck,
food, dude.
I
Yeah,
know,
but
you might as
here's
well
You
the
get a
point.
great bagel. With
Oh, you don't have to tell me.
I mean, your pizza place would be done. I mean, if it,
would
tastes,
be.
yeah. I mean,
Oh,
Everything
man.
would be done.
Pizza didn't have
everything would
taste. It's just you're eating slime. What is that?
dude, during COVID, I was eating just lettuce with nothing on it. Like, it's just-
Oh,
Just gnawing on
you can't
fucking
taste
heads.
it. So
Like
why
a
not?
little wabbit. That's
Yeah.
what you're doing.
It was brutal. I lost like 12 pounds in 10 days or something like that. It was
The
bad.
main
tell.
takeaway from the podcast I
I
listened
gained
to.
it back. I found it again.
The podcast I listened to was that when you think you are hungry, that's actually not your body telling you it's hungry and needs food. That's your mind and your desire telling you that you're hungry.
What about when your stomach starts making those noises?
good
growling
question,
and stuff?
Colt.
Same thing. That's like your
today
That's
I
not
was
your mind. That's
hungry.
your actual stomach.
I was in a meeting the other
Wrong.
day in the back of the room. They were talking about drones and a CAD system.
Oh, God.
And my stomach made one of the most outrageous noises I've ever heard in my life. Or people were looking at me like, I guess we got to get this guy food because that thing growled from the back.
I would say, I don't know that that's your stomach saying like your body needs to eat. It's like we're
Your
so used to
intestines
eating.
screaming at you.
Yeah.
For that, whatever's in there to make a noise, make that level of noise where the people, everybody looked at me like, what the, is that real? And it's like, I mean.
You ever see the gif of when Trump got the election, the person screaming and she's like, no.
Yes.
That's like your stomach every single day. That's the visual representation.
Every
I have
minute that it
of your
doesn't get fed,
intestines.
is it screaming no?
No, I think it's that when you feed it because of all the nasty shit that you put into it. So now it's like growling at you.
I
to
do.
stop.
I had a breakfast the other morning. I actually thought about how gross it was when I was eating it. Just because it was different. It's two fundamentally different items you're putting in. So I had everything bagel.
He's also coughing because he had some dairy today. I can tell, right?
He's doing the
there
whole
was cheese
car
on
ride.
the sandwich.
I
They
knew
ordered
it.
the
He
sandwich.
starts hacking loogies because he's
I was
fucking
dying there
eating
at the
Whole
end.
car ride here, Cough Central.
I will say, after all those swings, I thought I felt it in my heart. I was like, I gotta get checked
And
out.
now he's going to tell you about the 2 different breakfasts he had, like a hobbit.
So no, it's just different. So I had an everything bagel with toasted, or everything bagel which was toasted with scallion cream cheese. It was loaded with scallion cream cheese, and the scallions were massive. It was actually excellent.
This guy's
But
a
then-
fucking monster.
I mean, right after that, I threw a pork roll and egg down, and like thick pork roll slats, like probably.
I think you're turning cold on right now.
Oh, it was all. But I was just
Actually,
thinking
dude,
about
this sounds disgusting.
the cream cheese followed by just a salty meat right
Oh,
after
boy.
it is the body's is screaming the no.
We're not even to what, not 10 a.m. now at this point in the day?
No. Actually, I had like a red eye flight, so I probably ate this at 10:45, and then I played, no joke, 7 sets of paddle, and then after that, I probably had 6 sandwich halves, and then.
No one says I threw down a pork roll quite like you. I don't even know what that
Dude, I
means.
used to.
How do you just
I had a
toss down
weird
a pork
sickness,
roll?
but I love pork rolls. I would go get the family breakfast and be like, oh, I'll pick it up.
What's
pick it
a
up.
pork roll? I don't even know.
It's Taylor ham. It's like basically cut up hot dog. Honestly, it's
God.
like
like a
it's
pig in a
salty
blanket?
meat. It's kind of like a Jersey, Philadelphia, Long Island. I assume they have them. no?
Maybe, yeah. If I
Yeah,
see
pork
it.
roll or Taylor ham has been the big. They're unreal, but I will say I think every bite takes a day off your life. Every
it's all
bite.
that
So you eat a
processed
sandwich.
meat that they
oh,
say
it's the
do
most
not eat.
processed. It's not even a meat. It's so processed. And so
It's kind of like how you ever hear the myth that like Arby's gets their meat in liquid
yeah,
form?
that's what
I've
this
heard
is.
that too. God damn, they're good.
yeah, dude.
Arby's does.
So I think
suck.
they've debunked that and said like since 2014 or some bullshit that's no longer.
I don't even
that
care.
case.
They're
Yeah.
delicious.
I will say, if you're in Jersey and you're on Route 36 and you see a place named Slater's, their pork roll is, they put like 5 burger patties on.
Probably put your name over the bathroom.
Yeah, it's a bad one. But I used to go, so anyways, I would go pick up breakfast for a family. I'd be like, oh yeah, what do you want? Great. And I would get 2 pork rolls for myself, and I'd shove one down before I got home, so it looked like I only had one with
You're
the
a
family.
problem, dude.
Your problem
You're
for
an absolute
yourself.
problem.
Yeah, no. There's a health issue in there.
Did you guys see the way CBS signed off today? I mean, did you see this thing? The way
I
Faldo
read it.
and-
I read it.
And
What'd they
Nantz.
do?
It was just funny. So the chair just tweeted out the back and forth. So Faldo says, "What do they call it? A sneak score, isn't it? When the quarterback gets across the line." And Nantz says, "The quarterback sneak. That would be, dear boy." Faldo, "Oh, I got it the wrong way. The English way. Ah, the quarterback sneak. So I'm predicting we're going to have a golfer sneak tomorrow. Somebody we're not sure of is going to get across the line." Nantz, "What a call that is. You sound like quite the football expert, my friend." Faldo, "I want to be a narrow receiver. Then I wouldn't have to run as far. You can be a wide receiver. I'll be the narrow." And then it just went to fucking...
Wow.
I don't hate that close. I don't hate
I
that
actually didn't
close.
see it. I was finishing up with my group, and I walked in, and I didn't get to hear the end.
Oh
Dude,
my
Faldo
God.
could
What a
be
couple
off the
characters
wall.
in
Yeah.
there. My goodness.
Nance is the best. No one better. I'm not going to say that about Nick.
What's it like working with a guy like Jim Nantz?
You know, the first one I ever did on air for CBS was the PGA at Kiowa last year, and like having him send it down to me was like a pinch me moment. That was just so cool. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
that's 'cause
such a
awesome.
Jim Nantz fan. Like everything he does is just he's so good at it. It's just ridiculous. Like he makes it look the job's not that easy, and he makes it look just so easy. Him, Mike Tirico, those guys. It's just insane how good they are at their job. And so that was cool. And I mean, he's just the nicest guy on the planet. Always encouraging. I'll never forget early on in my tour career, I was staying at the same hotel he was in Charlotte, and I was dating a girl at the time. And we get in the elevator, and Jim's in there, Yeah, thanks. And Jim's in there, and he's just like, "Hello, darling," in that voice, and I'm like, "Well, she's gone. I'm gonna lose her. This is over.
She just will not be attracted to me for the
You're
rest
gonna
of the
go back
night.
down to the
She'll
bar,
just
try to
be
find
thinking
something
about
else.
I was like, that's all he has to say. It's game over. But it's really cool. And Nick's been awesome as well. We have a really good relationship. Like to pick on each other a little bit.
Totally. Yeah, he's a character. When he did the podcast with us, I mean, I don't think we've ever experienced a person like that ever. He called me a delicate little flower. And
Not wrong.
because I wouldn't drink the whiskey or whatever. It was a lot. And he's a cartoon character.
Yeah,
That
he
guy.
is.
Yeah, we've been all over the map with him. I mean, he's
So are those
buried
square
me,
shoes.
buried me
Those
for
are-
months,
Yeah.
Those are
and then wore the Borelli shirt. So like he's kind of all over the
During
map.
quarantine, he was a huge Borelli's foreplay guy. It was
Yeah,
weird. It was
huge.
strange.
That is. He
Every
was wearing
night
the
he was
shirts and cooking.
Whenever he had Italian night, he'd put on his Borelli's t-shirt and put it on Instagram. And like my dad was like, "What is happening?"
He must have
right
been
now?"
short on clothes.
Yeah, no, he loved it. He said like it was his favorite shirt.
I tell you who else from CBS is Frank Nobilo. He is an absolute
Oh, yeah.
beauty. Like
Yeah.
Trent loves him.
Dude,
Trent's like, I think has the biggest man crush on
he's
ever.
hilarious.
He's a handsome fella.
He is,
He would be a
He's
good one to
sturdy.
have on.
He's sturdy.
Yeah, he's a stout man. He can put him back too.
I like that.
We had him on several years ago, but I think he was literally at like the British Open, and it was like a 4-second delay.
He's a smart guy. I don't actually cut that
Loves
part
to
out.
drop balls.
Don't let anybody hear I said that.
You guys had Patty Harrington on?
We did before the Ryder Cup. Yeah,
How's he?
unreal. He is fantastic. I've known him for a while, but I didn't know him. Mm-hmm. He's interesting. I'd say he's quirky.
You know who's
I
doing?
love his social videos.
Yeah,
He does those from his like little fucking farm
Yeah.
and over in the UK, and his videos are awesome. And we actually saw him in Bermuda last year. I was there with Jake Pat. I saw him, and he was like on the tee, and it's a real, it's like a pretty tight scene with COVID and everything else. So you could just go talk to anybody, and everybody be like, "Sure." So I said to him, "Oh, Patty, a huge fan of the videos that you post." And he goes, "Oh yeah, what was the lesson in the last one?" And I was like,
Oh,
no, I remember you were doing the little step thing where you literally you line up like 10 balls, hit one step. Then he goes, "Oh, I was just testing you." A lot of people say that, don't actually watch him.
whoa.
yeah. He's an
It was
interesting mind. I mean,
incredible.
if you look at
He is.
like his career, I mean, arguably no one's changed their golf swing like more than him. I mean, the guy wins 3 majors and totally just rebuilds his golf swing.
You know
he's
who's
tried crazy shit too.
Yeah, he's
You
a
know who's
tinkerer big time.
Oh my
Big
God,
tinker.
all the time. He's like to get
Dude, he did the
distance,
step
he's
through.
doing
Remember he did the
thing.
step through?
Yeah.
You know who's doing some weird stuff that I see now is VJ. They show him. He was taking a baseball bat to a bag to try to generate speed.
Yeah,
he's picking up some of the weirdness that
He's
Patty
crazy.
left
He's
on.
out there flipping tires and stuff.
Yeah.
He's training like a
Who's
CrossFit
that?
guy.
VJ Singh is
Yeah.
like making
He
like
was one
an
of my
athletic
favorites.
He's flipping tires.
He's
Yeah.
flipping tires. I saw a video the other day. He was just taking a baseball bat and just slamming it into a punching bag.
BJ Singh.
Dude, he gets a bad rap. Like, he was one of my favorite guys to play with. Like, we played
VJ?
a lot of practice rounds together. He is super nice. He gets a bad rap, and I always enjoyed him. Like, he always seems to like take one of the young guys kind of under his wing and
Were you that
try to
guy?
help him. And I was my rookie year. Yeah, we played a lot together.
Amazing.
I didn't know
It was
if
cool.
you-
So
we're talking
I've
about
always
bananas
loved
on the
What a
VJ.
floor.
match, you and VJ Singh.
Yeah, really
Just a
similar,
couple
huh?
of the boys hanging
But it was
out
great.
out
We
there.
talked shit to each other. He was great.
He's a tall fucker. How
He's a
tall
big
is
man.
he?
He's a big man. He's
And
probably
going-
6'4".
And last year in the Masters, or I forget what tournament it was, but we were all about to watch on a stream, and Trent was like, "Oh, VJ looks long in the tooth," and he just looked really old.
Yeah, he's got a couple
Can't
bad
believe
photos
he's
out there.
still fucking.
No,
flipping
yeah, and he's
tires.
like, I'll get
that's
this
it.
video too. He is working it.
He might take 2 days off a year. Like,
VJ?
it's
How
crazy.
old is VJ?
He's got to be 54, 55.
Yeah,
now.
something like that.
So going back to
legend.
like the banter on the course, on like a Thursday, if you're playing with Gary, you guys are probably walking together, having fun the whole time, or not really? Are you guys so in like the work mode? Hey, this is my job.
It all depends on who you're with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like with
'Cause
Gary,
if you're
it's
your
great.
boy,
Like,
I feel like
yeah.
you're kind of rooting for
I mean,
each
I'm
other.
a-
It's early in the tournament. It's not like it's me versus you at this point.
Yeah.
We're both trying to make the cut and get up the leaderboard. And
I think, obviously, when you're getting ready to hit a shot, it's just you step away and let them do
Right,
the thing. But like
right.
walking in between holes, walking down the fairway, like you're paired with Pat Perez,
So
like
fun.
there's gonna be a lot of talk going on,
Yeah.
and it could be about anything. So it all depends on the pairing. That was always one of my exciting moments was the text you get on Tuesday to see who you're gonna be paired with. Like, is this gonna be a fun Thursday, Friday, or not?
Who was the least fun?
oh, this should be good.
Oh man. Well, I obviously didn't enjoy playing with Rory that much. The only thing I like playing with
Sabbatini.
Rory is
McIlroy.
Sabatini. Yeah, McIlroy's the best.
He is the best.
Sabatini plays really fast.
Was
Let's
that
enjoy
early
that.
in your career when that happened? So that interaction was just there forever?
No, that actually wasn't. That was probably like 2016, 2017.
Did you ever have any closure to that experience with Rory?
No.
No,
I remember
quick no.
No, this is actually funny. He complained about how slow I was playing on that one shot, which I've never been I never have an issue. I've
No,
never
you're
been
pretty
fined, never
fast.
even been close to being on the clock or anything like that. The next week's the team event in New Orleans. I'm playing with Boo Weekly. And him, and I think he was playing with Brian Gay, were in the group in front of us, and we waited every shot. And Boo gets up there, gets in the locker room afterwards. He's like, Rory, did you yell at them guys like you yelled at my boy last week about being slow? And I was like, God, I love you, Boo.
shit.
Boo's great. Boo's just not, he just doesn't
He doesn't
care.
give a
He just
shit.
throws it out there.
No
He's like, what are you talking about? And I heard Rory, he's like, oh, you took forever. And I was like, come on, dude. Like I don't give a
And
shit.
he's
Like,
huge, though. Sabatini with his shirt off, let's talk. He's got to be. He's looking svelte.
I've never seen him with his shirt off.
No,
I don't
you're
know.
just saying in the locker room.
Really?
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he's got
I
pretty
don't know.
good.
Like he would whip my ass in a fight. There's no doubt about it. I mean, most people would.
Well,
Like,
you're
I'm
not a- you're a-
I'm not a fighter.
You're a digital fighter.
No,
You're not.
yeah, it's just there was just like whatever. It's like I just told him I didn't appreciate
yeah, that's
what he
fair.
did. I was into it.
Look at that guy. He's just-
That's a no bullshit guy. That face can go red.
By the way, though, how about silver medal at the Olympics? Pretty sick.
Really?
Yeah. I mean that's pretty unreal. Came
Was
out
he
of nowhere.
playing for a country he's like never been to?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He's a pro.
Slovakia.
There was
Yes.
there was some.
There was
I don't
some-
remember the whole thing, so
Right.
I'm not that matters.
Yeah,
On
that'll
the
be
show,
a
we can
little
say
lips,
whatever we
little
want.
dot,
I called him,
dot.
yeah, I called him the Silky Slovakian on air one day.
Oh,
He made a putt. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I
that's a
like
good
that one.
line.
You got the power now. You
Yeah.
get that little mic. Jim Nantz throws it down to you. You can say anything.
Just throw it out
You
there
ever
and see what
worry you're
happens.
going to say something problematic?
Gotta be.
Yeah, I think in today's world, there's always that fear. Like,
Definitely.
God, I mean, you could say something that you wouldn't even think could be offensive or
Right.
anything like that, and it could turn around and bite you. So yeah, there's always, I think, that little bit of fear. But like, you always want to push that edge, you know. I mean, you want to make it entertaining. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why people love listening to y'all. It's just you throw it all out there. I wish you could say more things on national
Right.
television, but you can't.
It should almost be like if people know that you come from a good place, then you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
well, that's been the Dave
Not enough
argument
people know
for
you.
fucking 20 years.
Right.
That if you're just trying to make people laugh or you're
Right.
trying to say something and not try and hurt someone's feelings, but people will always dig in and they'll rip things out of what you said out of context and plaster it on a headline.
I mean, that's like for me.
guy
It's just
fights
like
so hell
I'm
back.
self-deprecating. That's the only way I think you can really be
Crazy.
funny on air is if you make fun of yourself.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
I make fun of Faldo sometimes, but he's English, so it's okay.
Is he self-deprecating? I feel like he's
A little bit.
self-grandizing. maybe
He
a
likes to
little
take shots at me on
Okay.
air, and I give him back, which is great.
That's perfect.
Makes for good TV.
Yeah, that's what you want. out
what
there.
kind of back and forth are we going to get into at the DadBod Classic? I know
Oh
you're
boy, it
playing-
could be fun. I mean, Riggs has already called me out, wants me in the singles the last day. I mean, jeez, I won't even have to shower after that match. It'll be over so quick.
Riggs lost to Trent last year.
Oh God.
on 18
I'll
at
say
fucking
Trent made
Pebble
a
Beach.
birdie, getting a good amount of shots. He made an
24 shots,
actual
yeah.
birdie on 17.
What's your handicap at right now?
I'm about a 4.
So you're probably getting 3 aside from me. What tees do we play
I
at
should be
Pebble
getting
in
more.
this DadBod?
The
class?
back.
You and I are gonna need to play the
All the
short.
back?
I think we play the Blues.
We play the Blues, which not all the way back, but they're like the last ones you can play
69
without
or
getting
something, right?
permission from the pro shop.
Yeah, that's a problem for you. Getting me to play 6,900 yards.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna be
I
a
kinda like
problem,
that.
and they're tidy greens,
Really?
so you're gonna hit the greens. I'm
That
not.
stretch
There's
of
really not that great of golfers. In
8,
that.
9,
I mean,
10.
there's a couple. There's a handful.
8,
of good
9,
golfers.
10 will eat your lunch every time you
At
play.
Pebble?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get the first 7,
Oof.
and then you hold on for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you,
Hold on big time.
I think Jizz allows people to play either of the two.
That's my boss.
Yeah.
I take all my lessons from Jizz.
And the first 7
I
are
didn't even
tough.
realize when I
eight's
said
a,
it.
eight's a walk in the park.
Oh my
For you,
God,
that's a
here we
walk
go.
in the park.
Well,
you must have made
He made
birdie,
one
Yeah,
par
there
in
you
his
go.
life.
I made
No,
a par there. It was
Pros would like this. I
right
did
before
it
the U.S.
perfectly.
Open. I hit a 3-wood to the edge of the fairway. Couldn't have placed it better if I fucking tried. Hit a 6-iron. Wind was off to the left. It was coming left to right, and I hit a nice, beautiful little draw right behind the fucking pin. The caddy said he'd never seen a shot like that in his fucking life.
Oh, you never added that part before.
First day on the job.
You never added that part.
missed the
It
before.
putt.
actually was his first day on the job. It wasn't because remember after I hit that shot, we're all elated, we're excited. Everyone's giving.
You know they make money.
You made
money off
triple
tips.
for the first 6 holes.
No. Listen. And he was so excited. Everyone was basically in tears of like just what they had just witnessed on the 8th hole at Pebble Beach. And
just
then
picked up a banana with your cheese.
wait.
That's a par.
Before I
That's
even
a
had the putt, he goes and goes, "Yep, that's a pretty damn good shot over this here abyss." And he goes, "I remember a couple Christmases ago, we had a nice lady just jump to her death down here."
Oh yeah,
And
I
we
do
said,
remember
"What the
that.
fuck did you just say?"
Dude, that was
Just
before.
ruined our whole day.
Buzzkill.
Just ruined our whole day.
Makes you think.
Went on to just miss my birdie putt and tapping for par, and I looked at him.
That's
like,
down at Jizzy Beach, too.
Yeah, that's right.
tough way to just end that whole elation.
He's like, yeah, I think he splattered right on that
Yeah,
rock.
she was.
right
Yeah,
there.
he goes. We actually came down. She was still alive. I'm like, okay, dude.
It was crazy.
Okay, Have you ever heard anyone talk about stuff like that at a golf course?
We're gonna keep suicide out of the conversation.
And then we were looking at the cliff. We're like, yeah, you could. I mean,
Well, he
Oh,
said
you
that
could
can't-
easily tumble off those cliffs.
easily. I don't think she tumbled.
There's a picture.
I mean, I would
of Trent
argue if-
coming up. What was it?
If you're
6?
swimming in Stillwater Bay, you can't. It's tough to get out.
Cove.
Sorry,
It's okay.
Pacific Ocean.
it's a bay and a cove.
That was Spanish Bay.
But it's the same shit.
It wasn't though.
This is the type of shit we're gonna do at the DadBod Classic. Connor, that big mean motherfucker.
He's a disaster.
He's a disaster.
Beauty.
But
One of my
basically,
faves.
Yeah, he's- well, it's 'cause
I'm
you're
with
both
Connor and
giant
Lurch.
freaks.
I'm with Connor and Lurch, just the
He
two
lurches me
biggest
out of it.
fucking mongoloids you'll ever meet in your entire life. And I'm like looking out, knowing all these bays at Pebble Beach, and I'd never played Spanish Bay. It's literally called Spanish Bay, so I'm thinking there's bodies of water within the little inlets. So I go, "What's the name of that body of water right there?" And
No.
Yes, I did.
I think you said, "What's that?"
I said, "What's the
What's
name?"
that?
I said, "What's the name of that right there?" Right?
And
No, I said, "So what's the name of this right here?" I said that to those guys. I said, "Hey
Pacific
guys,"
Ocean.
and Connor goes, "The Pacific Ocean," like an asshole. And I said, "Well, no." He goes, and
Two
then
of
he
us
didn't let
nearly
it go.
peed
To be fair,
our
I probably would have
pants.
said the same
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Totally. Let it
No,
go.
we
Totally.
hammered that one home.
He goes, and then in the group chat, he's like, "I'm flying over the Atlantic, Frank," or he would just
Yeah,
always
yeah.
say a different body of water the rest of the
No, I
week.
think you said flying over the Rockies or something
Rockies,
like that
yeah.
at one point.
You're on the
So
cliffs of California. You point out to the
Yeah,
water and
it's
go,
tough.
"What's that body of water?" You're gonna get that
I
from the
meant
fellas.
like, is
every
there
time.
different names? Is that
specific.
Spanish Bay? Like I didn't know. I don't know.
Should have led with that then. Should have
Connor's
offered up
Connor's
Spanish
a beauty,
Bay.
though.
That's the kind of crew we've got going to that DadBod Classic. So
Connor
I
is a
mean, you get
beauty,
eaten
yeah.
alive if you say the one wrong thing.
You need to have your wits about you.
Oh, yeah.
that week, or
Oh,
you
yeah.
will, like you said, you won't survive, and you probably won't want to come back the following year.
No, I'm really excited for that. It's coming up like next
Coming
month.
up sneaky quick,
It's like here.
like 4 or
Todd
5
Martin.
weeks.
Yeah.
We're just
First
gonna
week of
be in
March.
Pebble. We're just gonna be at Pebble Beach.
Pebble,
We're
Pebble.
going there next week and then back in March.
That's good.
Oh, you got that event next.
We got AT&T next week.
at the AT&T, and then you're going back for this. Do you go another time during the year usually?
I normally play in November.
That's right.
A tailor-made invitational.
There you go.
Shout out to the boys, Kingdom.
They
Tailor-made.
do.
I'm not
Yeah,
wearing my
it's a
tailor-made
fun
hat.
event.
No, you're not.
Just pointed to it.
It's
Damn it.
best place in the world when the weather's good.
Different company. Pebble?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Oh, is that where you had? No, it was here. It was at
was
Torrey.
here. Yeah.
When you had your putt that you made in
Yeah.
the shitty weather? The birdie that you made?
Yeah, I was in a hurricane over there on number 3.
You complained, like, what are we doing out here? And then you made it?
Well, first
Oh,
of all,
that was
everyone was complaining. I mean, it was
Whiner.
the flags were hitting the ground. I mean,
You
it was just
whiner.
insane. There was a lot of whining going on that day. Actually, it was actually a lot of fun. Like I was playing with Billy Horschel and Scott Stallings, and we were just laughing the whole time. Like this is absolutely ridiculous. That
The
we're out
rain
here.
gear was baggy too. I mean, you look like
Yeah.
you were a
Well, I don't
flag.
know if you know this, but I got to get things custom made a little bit. I'm not really built. I had a great story about rain
Also, in the
pants.
wind like that, you're going to want to rock baggy stuff.
Yeah, but rain.
Get real tight out there in
Yeah,
that
that's
wind.
true.
It's
My
gonna
rain
be-
pants, I have to get hemmed
Okay.
because I mean,
No big deal.
Yeah,
You can be honest with
when I
us.
played on the
They're all
Walker
just
Cup
short
team,
legs.
yeah,
Okay. I don't know
when
why
I
that.
played on the Walker
stumps
Cup
you
team,
got
it was-
there?
we had Gore-Tex and it had
Nice brand.
USA up the leg.
Oh no, you only had US or something.
No, mine only had U. So everybody's like, "What does the U mean?" I was like, "Well, it used to say USA, but we had to get it chopped down a little bit."
I wonder if they would have let you on Space Mountain.
That's all right.
Now,
Stop it.
I'm
You know, we've been getting along so good.
I'm genuinely curious.
I
mean,
would say you're about the same height.
dude,
I'm 5'8".
I'm almost 6 foot. I'm 5'11 and a half.
You that big?
Yeah.
I'm going to
You that
say
big?
there's no way you're
That
6
is
feet.
big. 5'11" and a
I'll
half.
stand up right now.
There's no way
Back
you're
to
6
back.
feet.
You want to do that
with Colt?
Or, yeah.
Oh, well, I know you're taller than me.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, but you're not 6 feet.
Stand up with me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're not
Oh
6
boy,
feet.
now we're going toe to
What are you
toe.
talking
This is
about?
the sh-
What are we
All I know is
talking
Connor's a
about?
6'9" Gemini.
He is 6'9".
You're 6'4", 6'3"?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think
My
Frankie's
head's
definitely
still like-
5'11" and
What are you
change.
talking about?
Look at the hat tilt.
Yeah, he just propped his hat up.
Anyways,
This is cute, guys.
I go to the doctor and they tell me how tall I am.
They get paid on tips too.
they do.
I only bring
I had
that
a
up
doctor
about Space
told me that
Mountain
I
because
was-
I want to again plug. We have a vlog
Nice.
from Disney
Nice.
on our YouTube page, and it's one of my favorite videos we ever put out.
Fun fact about Space Mountain. You know the top speed you go?
Yeah, 26 miles an hour or something.
Guy tweeted that at me because we tweeted
God,
about
that's a
Space Mountain,
letdown.
and he
Well,
goes,
dude,
"Fun
the way
fact
they
about
do it,
Space
it's
Mountain: the
constant
max
drops.
speed is 27 miles an hour." I was like, whoa.
You're never actually going like straight 26, so
Right.
it's like you're constantly
yeah,
moving. So
accelerating.
26 at turns are fucking.
Well, the thing-
Yeah, and in the dark.
So Riggs on the way over here, we were chatting, and we talked about blimp
Oh yeah, I saw it.
blimp speed.
Which is nuts. 60 miles an hour.
50.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which blows my mind
about
that thing's ripping faster
Yeah,
than
Colt,
you
you
are
know
on
that?
Space Mountain.
So we had a guy on one time, I think a call-in show we did, and he said he drives the blimps. We were like, what? And we go, I got a question for you. How do you get that blimp from like one venue to the next? He goes, well, we fly it. We were like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, the thing goes like 60 miles an hour, rips. We're like,
Which
no
flying
way.
speed is pathetic.
There's got to be like
know.
one for the West Coast and one for the East.
I
Coast.
think they have like two,
Yeah.
but like,
But
But
they'll
yeah, it
fly
rips
that
50
thing
miles an
from here to Vegas.
They just
Like,
fly the tour.
that's a
Right.
fucking that's a
a
flight
haul.
Right,
in
dude.
50 miles an hour.
What do you do if
That's
you
a
got to go to
haul.
the bathroom? Up
Also,
there?
what if you got a 10-mile-an-hour headwind? You know what I mean? Like that
What if
thing.
someone blows a little dart at it? You know what I mean? I mean, what are we talking about?
I believe that.
There you go. Wow.
You know,
Blimp business
Jake
can't
Basher
be
says there's only
booming.
25
I'm more
blimps
curious
in
about
existence.
how you go to the bathroom because you're up there the whole coverage.
There's got to
for
be
4
a
hours.
pisser up
That's
there.
just a
Maybe
small
a
range
bottle.
zone that comes down.
There's got to be something.
you a
up there.
Disney guy?
No.
Really? Just
Why is
didn't
that?
go there growing up, or like,
Oh,
what
we
was it?
went. Yeah, I've been a few times. Just
Why don't you like it?
I don't know. It's just not my thing. Like
Not a
I'd rather go to like Six Flags or stuff like that.
So you're
Like,
a
I do
thrill
like
roller coaster
I
guy.
like roller coasters. Yeah.
You don't like the magic.
No, I'm not a big fan of the magic.
Well, if
The
you want to,
teacups.
if you want
He hates that answer, by the
Yeah,
way.
if you want to get on Frankie's good side, you got to get in the magic.
YouTube foreplay, go watch it. I didn't get to finish plugging it.
Plug it.
It's a fantastic vlog.
Really good.
Trent wears the Minnie Mouse ears. It's the whole thing.
I'm
It's
bummed
a
I
fucking,
missed that.
It's just you go to our page and there's a lot of golf stuff, and then we're just at Disney in this one video. It's awesome, and I'm very proud of it because it's my favorite place on earth.
I loved the magic.
I loved it.
Really into it. Really.
We're gonna have to
into
do a full series, by the way. We're doing a full Disney
Vlogs?
series, Disney series, and also Universal, where we go to Harry Potter World.
Oh, we have to go to these awesome theme parks for work? I'll go do it.
I know. And also, a lot of people were saying there's this like Club 33 access that we got, and a lot of people are saying like we really downplayed exactly what that is.
Well, we were scared.
I know. No, I'm saying like we just kept saying we got this Club 33 access. Everyone's like, no, you don't just say that. It's like saying like, and then we just went to the White House, and then like that's basically what we were saying.
But I think that the reason we were all saying and skimming over is because we were afraid that you're not allowed to talk about it.
I
Almost
think
like
that
playing
is true,
Augusta
too.
National. Oh, how was your round? You're like, what round? Like what round? What are you
I got
talking
I got a DM saying that you have to get interviewed by the 4 like managers of each park, and they all have to agree to let you in, and then you're on a 5-year waiting list. It's like
For Club
Yikes.
33?
to get into this Club 33 for
I've never
That's
heard of it. So I don't
crazy.
know.
I know.
Sounds like a hell of a
about?
process.
People like you, you wouldn't have heard.
No,
of it.
you're not allowed. I'm not. Scoff at you. There's
Club
Chew.
2000, dude.
So they see that video you put out. They think you're a hostage situation.
Yeah, they're not touching that guy. You could be compromised.
I agree. I'm terrible at making videos.
Terrible at making.
I totally agree with you. I don't want to do it. I'd rather just
You
talk.
help us do. You help us interview the best golfers in the world, and we'll help you make better videos.
Perfect.
There you go.
Deal.
I got a question
That's a
for you.
nice little-
What's that locker room scene like on tour? Is that like a hockey locker room
No.
scene?
Nothing, man. That's when you were saying that earlier. It's like you don't really spend any time in there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you
that's what I was
literally go
picturing,
in,
like,
change.
you
Like
haven't seen Rory with his shirt off. I was
Yeah.
like,
no,
That's why my thing. I'm telling you.
but like literally, you
My
show
outfit
up,
thing.
you go in, you change your shoes, grab a couple sleeves of balls and a glove, and you're out.
Dude, some guys don't even use the locker room.
No, some guys. I mean,
That's a
especially-
huge part
I
of the
bet you
build
locker
for the
rooms
guys.
are
Like
incredible though.
when we did behind the greens, like
depends.
that's a massive overhaul for them to bring in all these like huge structures, build the locker room, like
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure that it's like spaced out during COVID. Like I remember here when Torrey didn't know if they were going to have a lot of people, like a lot of
Fans?
attendees and fans and
I was
stuff.
gonna let you just
The
get out on a
campaign?
limb there, but
Campaign
A parade?
They were saying like the locker room was like a huge part of like having to figure out how everyone can get in there safe and efficiently and spread out. It was like the first thing they ever had to do that, and like
it's-
half the guys don't even use it.
like you're not allowed to play cards on tour in the locker room. So
Nuts.
like you're not just gonna sit around. And, like
What?
during
What
yeah,
a stupid rule that is.
it's awful. I've never understood it.
what the fuck's the point of that?
Oh, gambling at Bushwood.
There was rumors
Okay,
back in the
but
day,
like-
like guys were playing for more than the purses were and shit like that. And there was fights in the locker room
Pay
over
'em
cards.
more.
I'm like, well, you're not going to play for more than what they're playing for now, so
No,
it shouldn't
no,
be a problem. But like during rain delays, like it's against tour policy to play cards. It's so dumb. Like you have a
That
7-hour
sucks.
rain delay and you just got to sit there.
That's
That's so
unbelievable.
stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I don't understand it.
Can you
Call
play
Jay
like
Monahan,
darts
ask
or
him.
anything like that? Like, are there
I mean,
if there's a dart board.
if there was a dartboard,
Yeah,
it should
bring
be
one.
good, yeah, but yeah, you don't really hang out in the locker room that much. I mean, there's player family dining, and that's it. But you're kind of in and out. I mean, if you have a Sunday night flight, you might take a quick shower. But
Bet you some of those fancy clubs though must have insanely nice locker rooms.
oh yeah, there is.
And cards is
Walk around
is
in a towel
is a
if I was
thing
on
golfers do. It's like
All
a part
time.
of the culture, like gambling,
Yeah.
cards,
Yeah, yeah.
and all those guys love
Best part of plane
action.
rides. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Be like if NHL players weren't allowed to play cards on the plane.
Right.
Well, there just wouldn't be NHL players. You know,
Yeah,
so
right. Be a totally different
They
group.
take a bus. It'd be like,
You take that away from them, you take their lives away from them.
I had no idea. My rookie year, me and somebody sat down and started playing gin, and they're like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, playing gin? We got 3 hours to kill.
we got room. You want
Yeah,
to play?
Right.
you want to play? And they're like,
Pull
no,
the
you
seat.
can't do that. You'll get fined. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, I couldn't
man.
believe it.
Just bake the fine into the purse.
What are other bad locker room rules?
There's really not anything else, I don't think.
Just no cards. What are
no
any
cards.
other quirky ones?
Not that I can think of.
No.
No, everything. I mean, it's just
No shaving in the
literally.
locker room.
No, you can do that. There's literally you just don't spend that much time in there. You really don't.
Yeah.
What do you think of the PiP?
I think it's stupid.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I just don't get it. Well, the one thing that bothers me about it the most is they don't tell you who wins. Like Phil told us who
That
wins.
part
Well
of it we think
said.
stupid.
Yeah,
Agree
Yeah,
with
like,
that.
you're not going to announce who wins. I don't.
But you think the
understand
overall thing's stupid, or just the way
it.
they're
I just
doing
think
it?
you could do so much more with that money, whether it be in the purses, whether it's the Corn Ferry Tour. I mean, put it
Give
in
it
the
to
FedEx Cup.
foreplay, something like
Yeah,
that.
sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't like you don't know who wins. I don't like that you don't know where you stand throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think this should all be out there, and I think it'd be
Live
cool.
standings every time
Yeah.
you like
But, like-
Homer retweets something, he bums up. A little.
I'm
Instant
actually
standings.
surprised Phil won, just because I thought no matter what Tiger did, it's over, and it should be like Tiger should win. Like when he posted that swing, his first swing
Over.
back, I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
it's
it's
over.
over.
But I mean, Phil has done a lot of social media, and he's good at it. Like it's entertaining, and I mean, yeah, I figured he would have finished second, but he obviously won. But like guys like Max Homa, who I think is very, very good on social media, the fact that he didn't finish in the top 10 blows my mind.
Well, what we were saying is that him not finishing in the top 10 discourages anyone from using social
Yeah.
media, because if he uses it the best of anyone, he can't crack the top 10.
Yeah.
And he won twice last year
Yeah.
on tour, like
In-
last
in the
calendar year.
yeah, in the calendar year. Yeah.
So, like, if he's not going to crack the top 10, everyone should say, well, okay, then all I need to do is play better golf and maybe, like,
Eventually,
do something crazy.
If I
in the
become a
news. I don't know.
megastar, there's a chance. But
Yeah.
like
They
that's
announced
it.
the 10, or
No,
is it
they
still?
don't-
So
they
does
did
Max
like a
even know
soft
for sure that
announcement.
he's not in the top
He
10?
didn't get any money. He knows that.
He didn't get right.
I want to know who finished like 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know who those guys were.
Sure.
Because-
There was talks that Morikawa finished 11.
Yeah.
Something like
Number
that.
one
He
ranked
tweeted it.
American. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, and he's one of those guys. He doesn't do a lot of social media. Xander said he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But like guys like Dustin, I mean, he doesn't do his social media. He doesn't
No.
care. Like Dustin's like good to be here at Torrey Pines and a picture of his golf swing. Like,
Right.
if he finished in the top 10, like that, I would like to know that.
Same.
Do you think he knows if he did?
Probably
If that money
not.
just goes into a bank account, just into an ether,
yeah,
and just,
it's just probably not.
right.
Honestly.
My
they
idea was
gotta-
to have a Twitter. So pick your top 5. Like PGA can pick their top 5, and then for 6 through 10, you should have a Twitter bracket, March Madness style, where everyone on social media, and you can do it on Instagram as well, but like everyone on social media votes, like the number 6 versus the 10 guy, or you can include 20 guys that would make that next 5. And then we all just pick the 5 guys that deserve the money. If there's a campaign by Kisner to get him into that top 5, like then he deserves it because he's that impactful on social media. If Max Homa gets a bunch of guys to vote for him because he goes on a podcast and he skews all the votes, then you know what? He deserves it because he is making an impact on social media and he's growing the game. So why are you not allowing what you want to grow the game? Is they're saying they want a bigger impact on the game, a bigger impact on social media. Let them do that by having a vote.
Well, look like what Max did with just the swing analysis when people would send him swings. Like, dude, his following went crazy once he started doing that. I can't believe he didn't finish in the top
And he
10.
was doing numbies. Dude. Every one of those tweets would have like 20,000
Yeah.
likes.
Yep.
He was just roasting people.
He was getting guys from other sports tweeting at
Everyone.
him, like quarterbacks and
It
pitchers
was
and
big.
MLB.
Still is.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd be fine with it if you just let us know how this thing's going.
Okay. Yeah, we agree with that. I think we've been pretty much on
transparency
that.
would
Yeah.
save it.
We're all rooting for
I'd like to know, like,
transparency.
though, through June, all right, this is who's leading. This
Yeah.
is who's in 10th.
Definitely.
And if you're in 11th, you got to do something crazy to get a bunch of likes and move up.
Yeah, I was saying it should go further, like into the top 25 or something like that, and spread them. So then you get those Max Homas, and they're getting paid, and especially those people that aren't winning as much on tour. You know, it's a check.
But, I mean, just give it all to Tiger. He's
Yeah,
the
oh,
reason,
yeah.
He's the reason all this money's there.
It's.
you know?
I mean, when he tweeted those pictures of his swing, it's like no one else should have won. It's his win.
What's for dinner tonight?
What are you thinking? Were you guys wanting to do any
I
In-N-Out
stuffed some
burger?
chicken tacos just when we were waiting for you guys.
You are disgusting. It's fucking
Dude,
crazy.
he
dude.
deleted them too.
Where'd you get them?
Just
Outside.
outside. Cole was like, "You want a beer?" Riggs was like, "No." I was like, "Let's go check it out." The sunset. We had a beer. Riggs almost had a beer because it was such a nice sunset, but he still said no. We had a beer, and then I actually won a rocks, paper, scissors. First
How
Colt.
long were you guys here for?
10 minutes.
Dude, that lights
Time for a
forever.
beer.
And then I said, Colt, you want some chicken nachos or whatever? And he
Did
goes,
you order them, or they were just
There
present?
was some guy had a little stand out there, you know, so he just heated them up,
All right.
smacked
They
them
look
up.
good. Were they good?
They were pretty good.
I don't know. I would like to
They were-
go. I don't know.
I mean,
What's
also
like, what's
forgettable.
what's
that's
the
a meal
San
you can-
Diego food? Is it like Mexican?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're only like an hour from Mexico.
Right.
I think, if you
Which
by
is
driving.
crazy.
Yeah,
know.
Tijuana's
Let's go to Tijuana tonight. Just go
Might
nuts.
not come back.
Let me know how that goes,
A
guys.
vlog in Tijuana.
Let me know how that.
Yeah,
I have my passport with me.
I don't.
I don't.
I think
If I
they
go
do
to
it,
Tijuana,
yeah.
I'm not going back.
The only reason I keep mine with me
Multiple
all the time
reasons.
because when you move out to the West Coast, you're just all of a sudden really close to going to vacation in Mexico all the time.
Cabo.
Cabo,
Right
and the
there.
people just go there all the time.
Let's go eat.
I could go for some crazy loaded nachos, sour cream.
Dude, the place right next
a
door to
little
our
team
hotel has a poke nachos that is What do you call it?
Say words.
That was pokey.
whatever.
Poke.
Poke.
Okay.
What do you call it?
We're losing it.
You, we always are.
This-
You also say especially.
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 I say especially. Big
Especially.
time.
Dude,
I say
Oh,
athlete.
yeah. There's
You
a lot
say
of things
what?
I say. People on,
Like my
the
brother
Facebook
says
page don't like.
athlete, so I say athlete, but some people tweeted me saying that I said athlete. Like I put like an F in
An
there.
F?
Athlete? What?
My
Make
brother
it your
says
word.
athlete. I say athlete, but sometimes it slips. Like
I was listening to the Chicago guys on Dog Walk last week, or maybe
podcast.
one of their shows. Great. And
great accent too. That really
they're
makes
great.
the whole podcast.
And they were discussing how in golfers are such assholes for they're the only people that just say amateur. So like everyone else says amateur.
Yep.
And then
patrons. That's another thing.
Not only that, but golfers will say amateur, and then some will even say amateur.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's the
Someone
snob.
says he's an amateur. You just got to put a bullet in his
I like to say that just because I know it
Amateur?
pisses people off.
Francis, we met, the amateur.
That's,
That
that's when
see, I
that's
feel like
when
you
he
would
calls
like
everybody
that. That's
patrons.
sort of
Yeah,
almost.
if I'm watching the greatest game ever played, but I'm not going to talk about
Masters
fucking
stuff.
Colt
Yeah.
Knost winning like the
Not good. We
amateur.
got to change that.
I'm staying away from that one. I'm gonna let you.
Dude, what was I hitting you on the arm about today during the meeting? We had a meeting at TaylorMade, and there was a word getting thrown around maybe 9 or 10 times within a minute. Oh, temperature.
Temperature.
It was just such a fucking, it was
Temperature of
such
the
a
room,
boardroom
temperature.
word. Just, we're going to check the temperature on that. And then you said it 3 or 4
you
times.
did.
He goes,
You
if you
let
guys
it
want to check
fly.
the temperature on that and then get it back to us, and we'll let you know what the
I was in
temperature.
corporate meeting mode, bro.
You said at one point, you said, you guys can test the
Corporate
temperature over here, and then you get back to us, and we'll test the temperature when we
Yeah, it
have
was an ugly
And I hit
conversation.
him. I said, "Say temperature one more time." I said, and then someone said temperature. I said, "There it is." It was like it
I would
was
say
fucking crazy.
You guys were distracting when you were doing that because you weren't as quiet as you thought you were.
No, we were really getting into that.
You guys were loud, and he can't whisper.
No,
Lurch doesn't know how to whisper.
no.
By
So-
breathing, it's a problem.
I think a couple
It was
people
a- it
shot
was-
some looks towards that corner. Like, are you guys done over there?
Yeah, no, it was a jarring.
'cause the
amount of,
temperature-
it was a jarring amount of office jargon being tossed around, which I wasn't happy to be a part of. But productive meeting, but I didn't like the wording.
Colt, how does it feel good when somebody like Justin Thomas says that how great you are for the broadcast?
Oh yeah, that's great.
that
Everybody's
was
like,
nice.
"What'd you do to get him to do
Yeah,
that?" And I was
true.
like,
What do you
honestly,
have on him?
I had no idea. I think I was out on the broadcast when it happened the first time, and my phone just went nuts.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's great, man. It's cool when you get guys out there complimenting you and saying that they want you out there. That was awesome. That helped a lot.
Well, I think you're great in the broadcast.
Thank you.
I think you're really good for golf, having like a voice like that out there. You know the guys. You're willing to chirp. You're trying to be, like you said, push the envelope a little bit. So again, this will never leave this room, or after this, we will never say words like this to one another. It's war at the DadBod Classic. Shout out to Jizz. But I think you're great for the broadcast, great for golf. We appreciate you doing this.
Thank you. Can't wait to dummy you up at Pebble.
I know you can't.
Thank you for doing the podcast.
Frankie, good to meet you in
Nice
person.
to meet you.
Colt, good seeing you.
I'm glad you don't hate me anymore, Frankie.
No, I don't.